What's up, everyone? It is Monday, March 25th, and you have just entered into the pregame. Going from my webcam today from the office. And what we're doing right now is we're just doing a Q&A before today's session, letting people ask questions. I've got the chat open, and I said we're not going to go into anything crazy with questions, but we're going to go ahead and take some time with the community and the pregame family here, and we're just going to hang out, have a drink. This session is sponsored by Celsius. These are not good, by the way, and they don't sponsor us. You should just avoid these. But I go hard. I go nonstop. Okay, so let's just rattle through some questions here. Dan in his van says, what are good Facebook stories to post? Okay, I could touch on stories. I already see there's like 6 people asking questions about stories. I don't know that I'm going to go into a full training on stories right at this moment, because I do think that's something that if I share my screen and show you stories, I think it'll be more valuable. But I don't mind starting this Q&A session with talking off the top about stories. Okay, so first things first, okay? Let's address the first question, which is basically just like, I'm going to summarize everybody who's got questions about stories. All your questions are summarized here in this one beginning chat. So essentially, stories are a feature inside of social media platforms that allow you to share a portrait style video, a vertical video that is short. Each platform is a little bit different, but they're short. They're very, very short. And they're not like a full minute or anything. They're just really short stories. They're designed to be, a number of seconds long, depending on the platform. And they disappear in 24 hours. So the main thing about them is that they disappear in 24 hours. So they're sort of like a glance at your life, a glance at that person's life in those moments. So how most people use them organically. The first thing, okay, by the way, here's a big principle. Never look at how something should be used for business when it comes to social media. This is a fallacy. Don't look and say, how should this be used for business? Instead say, how is this designed to be used for the platform? Like, how is it designed to be used organically, native to the platform? How is it meant to be used? Because if you can understand that, then you can go ahead and say, now that I understand that, how can it be used for business? But if you skip that important step of how is this supposed to be used, you're going to struggle. So the question is, how are stories really being used organically? How are they being used natively? And I would say, from my experience, the vast majority of people that are using stories are using them as a way to chronicle their life. It's kind of like vlogging. Most people, when they see something in their life, when something happens in their life that is interesting, they pull out their phone and they film a short story of it. This is how the vast majorities of stories are created around the world, from my perspective, from my worldview. You guys can prove me wrong. But an example would be, let's say that it's somebody's birthday and somebody pulls out a cake and there's all these candles on it. You guys are getting ready to send happy birthday. Don't people pull out their phones? Like, isn't this normal? Don't we pull out our phones and be like, okay, let's film this cool little event? Well, this is kind of where stories come in. You're kind of like live streaming this event, but you're only live streaming it for seconds at a time, and then you're just pressing submit. The cool thing about stories, though, is that you can also add some features to it. You could add some music to it. You can add some text to it very, very easily. So you could film something like that, and then in the text, you could say like, happy birthday, John, and tag John. Hey, everybody, wish John a happy birthday. You could tag that person, and then you could even put some music behind it if you wanted to. So that's the cool thing about stories. So maybe you're out at a restaurant and you order a seafood tower and you don't know what it is. But when it comes, it's like 3 stories and it's got like lobster and it's got crab legs coming off and it's got this like dry ice that's like creating this like smoke thing. And you're like, what? I was not expecting this. Suddenly you want to pull out your phone and you want to film it. So the idea is that if you just take a video, it's just going to stay in your phone forever. Let's be honest. All these videos and pictures we've taken over the years, they just pretty much stay in your phone. Every once in a while, you go back and you find these old pictures you took. Stories are a little bit of a more effective photo album. They're a little bit of a more effective. You can take videos, you can take pictures, and you can just push them to your stories. And this is a way for your fans or your followers to be able to see what's going on. So if you understand the basics of stories, which is they disappear in 24 hours, and they're generally intended to be a glimpse into somebody's life, aka a vlog, like a video log of somebody's life, like a journal. Okay. Now, there's a really cool feature about stories, which is, they disappear in 24 hours for your followers, but they don't disappear in 24 hours for you. So you have an archive of all of your stories. So it's really cool because I posted, I don't know, 10,000 stories, and I have an archive of all of them that I could just easily go through, and I can remember anything about my life. So it's like creating your own documentary. Now, let's talk about, now that we understand the basics of stories, we're not going to do today's whole session on it. I'm just going to give you some talking version of it. But now that you understand the basics of stories, let's add a few interesting elements, some problems, and then kind of relate how to use it for business. So some of the problems. The first problem that most people have with stories, it's kind of an interesting one. It's pretty obvious, and it's the same problem I had. It's really the same problem everybody has. It's not unique. The problem you think right now about stories is not unique to you. It's the same problem everybody has, which is my life just isn't interesting enough for stories. So I didn't do stories for at least a year. They came out. I did not do stories for a year because I thought my life was just not interesting enough for stories. That's it. I thought maybe if I travel somewhere, I'll do a story. If I traveled on to Mexico, I'll do a story there or something. But I thought day to day, I just sit here and I work on my computer. And I'm not going to put my family in the story. So I was like, there's nothing. What am I going to do? Go outside and just film somebody else, like film a car driving by the street? I don't want to film my salad every day. So, even the meals I eat aren't interesting. I'm not going out to 5-star restaurants, So my first thought was I'm not interesting enough for stories. So I kind of ignored stories. So the first hurdle that you're going to have in this whole thing about stories is you think your life is not interesting enough for stories. So I want you to, first things first, I just want you to get that out of your mind. You'll eventually get that out of your mind, but if you get it out of your mind now, you'll shortcut yourself to success with stories. So don't think about whether or not your life is interesting, and don't think about whether or not you're going to film your food. Don't think about anything like that. Think to yourself that what are the how are stories beneficial to my business and my life, and how can I start using them? Don't think how I can't. I can't. Instead, think how can I? How could I? I would say for like when I first started doing stories, maybe my first year of doing stories, like 90% of them, my face was never in it. Because, there's really two ways to do stories. You can do one where the camera faces you and you've got your face right here. And then you can do another where it's got this camera and it's got all this, right? Those are the two main. So for the first year, I mostly just used this camera, just filming things around me. And then I also did a combination of this, and you could upload your own videos to stories. You could upload your own pictures to stories. So really, I wasn't doing a lot of selfie type stories. I wasn't really worried because, you know why people are worried about that? Because people don't think they look good. People think I don't look good today. I don't want to be on camera. We're you guys, come on, we're self-conscious people. We shouldn't be. It's the silliest thing ever, but we're self-conscious. And so I want to encourage you not to worry about any of that. I want to encourage you just to understand it. Okay. Don't right now go through any emotion of thinking through, oh, I don't know if I could be one of these kid influencers that do stories. Instead, think, I want to understand stories. I want to learn how to capitalize on this. So now that you kind of understand kind of the grassroots of stories and why they came about and how they disappear in 24 hours, and now they're kind of good, take it a step further. Take it a step further and go, okay, what is the benefit of content that disappears in 24 hours? And once you start to ask yourself this question, you'll realize that stories are far more beneficial than most other types of content. Like I think eventually you'll come around to realizing stories are really where you want to post the good stuff. You're gonna come to this conclusion. So a couple basic things to understand is you have content that is designed to try to attract new people, new followers, new friends, new subscribers. So that content is public, and you don't want it to disappear in 24 hours. You want it to last. You want it to even go viral. So like half of the content you create is to try to attract new people, right? This is called acquisition. And then the other half of the content you create is designed to appeal to your existing people. This is called retention. So you have retention and you have acquisition. They work together. You want to do a combination of both. You want to attract new people into your following while at the same time retaining the existing people you have. So it's a two-pronged marketing effort. One part is about constantly being able to build and grow your audience. And the other one over here is being able to create KLT factor with your audience, get them to know you, like you, and trust you. And if you're willing to share stories of your own life, then automatically that's a huge advantage, because people are really going to just see that you're a real person, you're transparent, they're going to really get to know you. However, I am not going to sit here and try to be Dr. Phil and coach you into, documenting your life publicly for everybody to see. That's not what I'm going to try to do right now. I'm not going to get into a mindset session with you. So I'm just going to say that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to be more methodical about what you post, and maybe post some stuff that is a little bit more of a blend between your personal life and business. So you keep it a little bit raw, a little bit organic. You make it feel natural to the platform, but at the same time, it's really like leading people more towards business. That's probably what you're going to do. Now, the person that originally asked this question, the first one at least, was Dan and his van. Now, I don't know a lot about Dan and his van. We have chatted it up a few times here in Zooms, but that's, as far as I know, Dan, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but that's pretty much it, right? Like pretty much just here on these Zooms a few times. So I don't know Dan's whole thing, but let's make some assumptions and let's answer this question for Dan. So let's make assumption number one, that Dan and his van, that his niche is van life. Okay, let's make that assumption right there. I'm pretty sure from our previous conversation, he was thinking about doing that or was doing that. So let's say it's van life. So he's going to basically show how you can essentially live in a van. It's what are the benefits? It's most likely really affordable, mobile. You probably have a lot of advantages you didn't realize you have. And it probably, not only that, but there's probably like a certain type of people really get attracted to kind of the uniqueness of it, instead of just being like everybody else, instead of just being a sheeple and going to get, buying a house, buying a home and just doing the normal American thing or whatever thing that people tell you to do. It's like, kind of like, be a little more adventurous, be a little more spontaneous, be a little bit of a wanderlust. So let's say that van life is his thing. Well, if he's doing stories, because his original question was, what are good Facebook stories to post? If he's doing stories, I would say stories that document the experience of the van life. So what I would do, hypothetically, if my niche was van life, is I would think this is a great opportunity for stories. Every day, I would share little things about van life through stories with my existing followers. That's the content that through stories, that's the content I would create to existing people who already kind of know me and my van and are interested in kind of seeing how I live and what things are like. But then I would also create more proper videos to try to attract new van life people, for YouTube, some reels, some stuff like that. But in my stories, have at it. Maybe shoot for a mark of 10 stories a day, kind of throughout the day, where you're just kind of sharing any interesting things about your van. And it could be like think about you're essentially taking anything that's happening in your life and you're just looking for a way to document it. You don't have to be on film yourself. So you could just basically be like, let's say that you have to change a tire. I don't know, I'm just bringing up something random, right? You change the tire in the van. It's kind of like there's an opportunity for some content. You got to think like that. There's an opportunity for some content. So if I'm going to be changing the tire anyways, why not also share about it? Hey guys, so one of the things about living in your van that's different from living in a house is a van's got wheels and we're always on the go. And so, I've actually, we ran into a pothole, whatever, flattened a tire. So today I'm going to be fixing this tire. And it's something you don't think about when you're in a house, right? You don't think about fixing the tires on your house, but when you have a van, it's something you got to think about. So a couple quick thoughts. I carry a spare with me all the time. I'm going to throw a spare on. Here's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to kind of show a little time lapse of me changing the tire really quick. I'll come back with you. And then boom, next. So that's one story. The next story, just put your camera on a little tripod, change the tire, and just have it in time lapse mode. And then boom, you're done. Boom, you got a little time lapse. That's your next story. So it's like 10 seconds of just like changing your tire. Then jump back in and be like, all right, so that took about 15 minutes, you guys get the hang of it after you do it a few times. But listen, this is the kind of stuff you got to learn. If you're going to be living in a van, you're going to have to learn about, some of this kind of stuff. Now, I'm going to need a new spare tire. So here's what I'm going to do. So you tell whatever the thing is, you just tell it in these short little blips, short little, like changing the tire becomes like a 5-series story interaction. And it becomes interesting. Little things like that become interesting because for a few reasons. One is it's like real world, it's like this is like real stuff. You're getting to veer into somebody's life. Now it works extremely well if you're a celebrity. Like this is 10, 100, 1,000 times, 1,000x if you're, if you're The Rock and you're changing a tire, and he's got his big old muscles out and he's like, changing his tire or whatever. It's exponential because look, if you think about how this works for celebrities, stories become the way that you can get into a celebrity's life behind the scenes that you never had before. So growing up as a kid, there were celebrities. I could think of some people that were sports athletes that were celebrities. I could think of some musicians that were celebrities when I was growing up. I know you guys all right now. I want you to think of a time when maybe you were a kid and there was a musician that you really just listened to all the time. And you were just like, if you're a woman, you're like head over heels over some guy or it's some other woman that you just listen to her lyrics all day long, whatever it might be, right? Like there's a musician. Now, in modern times, you could actually go follow that musician on Instagram and that person will share stories. It might be the morning and they wake up and they got a thought on their head and they're sharing a story. You're glued to that because you have a relationship with them. And it's an indirect relationship. You have the relationship of being a fan. And so that means so much, that the stories mean so much because you're getting a glimpse behind the scenes. This is the value of stories. This is the true value of these stories. So as a marketer, we're looking how to harness that power and utilize that power to build, grow, and scale our business. That's all. We're not The Rock, or in this case, it'd be like whoever was the celebrity you're thinking of, like Elvis Presley or something, right? We're not Elvis Presley. We're not going to, Madonna, whoever. We're not these people. So we don't have the celebrity status. However, we have a small following that we're able to build KLT factor with. And that small following, the stories are practice. The stories give us practice on how to be able to build up that following. Now, there's an engagement metric with stories as well, which is how many views you're getting on your stories. So when you post stories, you also get to see how many views you're getting. So now metrics are vanity. They don't mean a lot, but also metrics are performance indicators, key performance indicators. So you can see, let's say you're getting 50 likes per story, 50 views per story. So every story, let's say you're posting, you're getting 50 views. I'm just choosing an arbitrary number, 10 views, doesn't matter. But let's just choose 50. So you set a goal then that says, okay, I want to get to 100 views per story. That becomes your goal. So you realize there's two ways that I can get to 100 views. One is I can make better stories. That way more people are wanting to watch them. And two is I can get more followers. So again, acquisition retention now becomes a metric to be able to create more stories. And then when you're creating the stories, you can start to be very niche specific. So now you can start to actually create stories that are very, very, very like on point with the kind of audience that you want to build. Now, I don't want to spend another hour on this, but I like the topic. I'll spend a few more minutes on it. So with stories, there's a few more little tips I'm going to give you. Here's how most marketers use stories. I just told you now how stories were designed and how people use stories. They use them for behind the scenes. They use them for vlogging. They use them for sharing moments with their friends, family, and their followers, right? Marketers tend to skip the purpose of these things and just go straight into trying to sell or trying to market. So where marketers do things differently is this. A marketer will make a post on Instagram or Facebook, and then they will share that post as a story. And so a marketer will say, hey, everybody, I've got a new post. Go check it out. This is what marketers do. And the reality is it doesn't really work. So in order to be a better marketer, you have to learn to think like a marketer who is operating as an organic user. You're operating as the perfect candidate for the algorithm. Like you're not, like, the algorithms don't love marketers. In fact, I would argue that they probably hate marketers. I would bet that a lot of you believe that the algorithms treat you unfairly when you try to market or sell something. When you try to do something that is beneficial to you and your business, the algorithms probably don't benefit you. They probably don't. They're not there to help you. But if you do something stupid that like doesn't help your business at all, and it's just some like, boom, the algorithm, those are your most popular posts probably. So I want you to think like you're a candidate for the algorithm. That's kind of more or less what how you're trying to operate, but you're operating as a marketer. So rather than, for example, here's like, let me give you a do and don't. let's say that you make a new post on, let's say you made a reel. Okay, you made a reel. I just watched a couple of reels today from Joe Nathan. Let's see if Joe Nathan's on. He's usually jumping on these things. Let me just see though. I see him on here. I don't know if he's on, but I see him. So I was watching a couple of reels from Joe Nathan. By the way, Joe Nathan, if you're on, I liked him. I'm a critic. I'm very, very, I mean, I could obviously share, I would love to share with you how to improve them, but I watched your Uber and Lyft. What was it? It's like, it was something where you're like using bridge marketing. You're saying, are you an Uber or Lyft driver? Here's how to be able to create some additional income while you're driving. And I think the pitch was something along the lines of, listen to people's problems and then solve their problems with affiliate products. And you were using like an AI talking avatar for it. Okay, it's like I watched that today. I watched a few other things from Joe Nathan. First of all, good job. But here's an example, Joe Nathan, if you're listening, here's an example. Is I saw, for example, you just promoted the Uber driver thing as a story. And that's it. And he moved on. But the problem is, and I want you to think, Joe Nathan, I'm complimenting you. I'm saying, good job making the stories. I could tell you put some time into editing. I could also tell like you're really trying. You did a talking avatar. There's some transitions. There's, it's using bridge marketing. It's not like you're doing a bad job, but just listen to this little piece, Joe Nathan. If anybody else is listening, just listen in to me and Joe Nathan having a casual conversation here. So Joe Nathan, I saw you promote it. You made the reel or the bridge page. Maybe it was a bridge page. Okay. And you promoted it in a story. But the thing is, that's just pitching. Like you're still not quite, you're like right there, but you're not really fully understanding the value, like how to deliver value. So, okay, for example, let's say that I have a movie that I made. I just made a movie. Okay. I don't want to make a post that just says brand new movie by Chris Record. Click here, swipe up to go watch it. That's too little information to convert anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not an effective promo, right? Just click here to go watch my movie. Wouldn't it be a little bit better if I had a series of things over maybe even a course of days that were leading up to the movie, that were creating hype around the movie, maybe a trailer, sharing some scenes of the movie? Do you see what I'm saying? Like if I were going to promote a movie, I wouldn't just say, hey, I got a brand new movie, click here to go watch it. Prior to getting to that post, I should already have everybody wanting to click there to watch it. So the benefit of stories is like, it gives you the ability to be able to build hype, be able to promote, be able to hit things from different angles. And it's really like, these are throwaway stories. You can literally have fun with them because they're just gone. No one's going to remember them. They're gone in 24 hours. So you can't really do the stories wrong. Okay. So an example could be, you could come out and you could share some information about how, share some, like, what about some shock and controversy? So is there anything shocking in the world of Uber or Lyft? Is there any controversy? Is there any, is like a perfect example would be like, let's say incomes are down. Let's say that there's some sort of status out there that shows that like, incomes are down big time. You are now creating a problem where this can become a solution. Do you see what I'm saying? So now you're starting to build some hype for something that can be a solution. So you're starting to elaborate on problems that Uber and Lyft drivers might be having that might cause them to want a solution, right? Or another one might be like Uber success stories. Maybe there's a story of somebody who started with Uber, but then transitioned into something big. Maybe there's somebody in the internet marketing world that used to drive for Lyft or Uber, and now they're a successful internet marketer. So being able to share polarity, being able to share how there's some struggles that drivers are facing, and also how there's some drivers that have advanced and there's opportunities out there that you may not even realize. And also maybe even talk about how, like, think about Uber and Lyft in itself. That's transitional employment. Uber and Lyft, people don't start driving Uber and Lyft as their full-time career that they plan on retiring from. They start driving Uber and Lyft as a side hustle, usually when they're in between jobs, right? So it's a transitionary thing. And if you were to ask, I talk to all my Uber drivers, and I catch Uber a lot just because I like being driven. It's just, I don't like driving because I check my phone and stuff like that. I don't like it. So instead, watch this. Every conversation I've ever had with an Uber driver, whenever I ask him, I go, hey, so is this your full-time job that you plan on retiring from? Every single time, the answer's been no. I've never yet gotten a yes to that answer. And I'd be shocked if I did, but I've never gotten a yes that somebody said, oh, absolutely. I found Uber. This is my love, and I'm going to work this until I die. I mean, I just love this. No, it's always transition. And then also, if I ask them, I go, what would you say are like your biggest complaints? Like, what are some of the biggest reasons why this wouldn't be a good career? Like what are some of the things you're going to be happy about when you move on to something else? Like, what are some of the things you're going to be glad you no longer have to deal with in Uber? And they'll just tell you. The Uber drivers will just tell you. So what I'm saying is, like, if you think about this, it's a transitionary job. They're looking for something new. So stories are used. Let's say you put together a bridge page, a video funnel bridge page. Stories are be able to hit things from different angles, be able to build up some stuff. Also, the stories are meant to be done in sequences. So let's go away from marketing to understand what a sequence is. A sequence would be like a day in the life, right? So a sequence would be like, hey, what's up, everybody? It's 5 a.m. So like, it'd be a story like this. Oh, what's up, everybody? It's 5 a.m. Just woke up. We're going to be going hiking this morning. Oh, God, still a little bit tired from last night. We're going to go hiking. So I'm going to go ahead and get dressed, but I'll see you guys at the mountain. Stop. And then here we're at the mountain. All right, you guys, finally, the sun's coming out. We're over here at Pinnacle Peak here in Arizona. We're going to go hiking this mountain. I'm going to show you a little bit of it on the way. I love hiking. I don't know if you guys like, hey, if you guys like hiking, give me some love on this story right now. But I'm going to go show you guys the top, but maybe a little bit along the way. Stop. So, and then boom, boom, boom. Now I got a 3 or 4, 5 video sequence about the mountain. I don't want to do 100 videos because no one's got the time for that. But I want to do like getting up early, story 2, I made it to the mountain. Story 3 is maybe part of the journey, somewhere up. Kind of maybe I've come to like a hard part. That's something cool to show. And then story 4 might be the peak. And then story 5 might be like, we're down in the parking lot, we're all finished. And maybe I'm like showing a couple people, hey, what do you guys think? What did you guys think? Fun ride. And then turn it back to me. Okay, guys, that was fun. That was a fun hike. I had a blast. Anyways, if you guys love hiking, let me know. Where are my hikers at? Who are my hikers? And then done. There's a 5 video sequence, boom, about hiking. And then my day continues. So now as my day continues, I'm looking for content about my day, right? This is traditional stories. Now, let me ask you a question. During that hike, do I promote any business? During that hike, do I tell people to DM me their email address if they want to learn how to climb the pinnacle of their life? Do you want to learn how to reach the top pinnacle of your life? DM me in the comments and I'll show you how to ascend the income ladder the same way that I just ascended this pinnacle peak. No, the thing is that this is a hard, look, I had a conversation with somebody earlier, an affiliate earlier about this. I had a conversation a couple hours ago. This person's just constantly saying, I have to pitch in order to make money. So their argument to me is, Chris, you don't understand. I have to pitch. I have to tell people to buy my product. Otherwise, I won't make any money. My argument to that is that these social media platforms are not designed for that. So you're going against the grain. You're actually working 10 times harder. So you could work 10 times easier and make 10 times more money by simply realizing to play ball with the algorithms. It's just so hard for us to realize I will make more money by going on a hike than I will by pitching that I have like a new Uber or Lyft page, right? So you have to, and here's another thing. The vast majority of people, like 99% of people, do not like ads. They just don't like ads. Ads, if anything, ruin your experience. I'm watching TV for entertainment. I'm enjoying something. Then commercials come on. That is not pleasant. I understand that they have to be there, but it's not pleasant. And if there was an option, if my network said, hey, for $5, if the commercial was just like, while commercials are playing, if there was a little notice on the bottom that said, hey, for $5 a month, you'll never have to watch commercials again, I would just pay for it because the commercials are annoying. Same with YouTube. I pay for the YouTube Red or whatever it is, so I don't have to watch the YouTube ads. Same with everything. If there's a game on my phone that I like, I haven't played games in a while, but I used to love phone games. and there was like a little $5 option to turn off ads, I'm always doing it. Even if I only play a game for a day, I'm like, I'm doing it. So listen, people don't like ads. So if your stories are all just promoting stuff, there's nothing enjoyable about your stories. Now, let me tell you how the stories algorithm works. Again, we're going to do a whole session on this, but I'm giving you guys like the fundamentals up front. Plus, it's nice for me to talk about it because I've never taught stories before. So it's also nice. The stories algorithm works like this. Let's say that you have 100 friends. Okay, 500 friends, whatever you got. Let's say you have 500 friends on Facebook. And let's just hypothetically say everybody posted 5 stories. So they're going to show you on your mobile phone app, they're going to show you across the top, they're going to show you people's stories, okay? So they're going to show you like right across the top like this, if you kind of see, they're going to show you people's stories, right? Like this. They're going to show you these stories, okay? So these are stories. This is just an example. This is Facebook. I can go to Instagram and do the same thing, right? But these are just stories, okay? So let's say you have 500 of them and the 500 people each posted, let's say 5 stories. So first of all, the algorithm is going to learn which people to show you stories of. And it's going to be based on which people you're watching more often. So whoever hooks you the most with their stories is likely going to get that number 1 spot. Now, you'll notice this a lot. For example, the time when I really started noticing how powerful this was, I used to pretty much only follow like business entrepreneurs. Okay. And I would pretty much just watch all their stories. Then when I was single, I started dating, right? So this is in Arizona. I started dating a girl and she posted stories every day. Suddenly, no matter when I logged into my phone, her stories were always first for me. If there was a new story by her, the algorithm would always show it to me first. Okay. Then when I moved to Las Vegas and I had a girlfriend, boom, guaranteed her stories were always going to be the first ones. You guys will also notice this, like if you have husbands, spouses, or children that are posting stories, whatever stories you're watching the most out of those 500, those are going to get to the front of the pack. So that's the first big thing to understand about stories is that you need to be a good story creator in order to make it to the front. Otherwise, your stories just get buried. And if your stories get buried, your view counts can be really low. But if your stories get shown right in the beginning to people, then your view count's going to be really high. So I started getting like 5,000 views per story pretty quickly because I realized it's all about hooking people in. Like this is the big, if the internet connection dies today and if we're done recording right now, this is probably the biggest lesson I'm going to give you guys right now. It's the biggest, this to me is like this is the $1 million lesson of today's Zoom. I would rather have as many views as possible of my loyal followers on my stories. I'd rather get that as high as possible without pitching, without selling, without throwing up, just delivering value, just being an entertainer, using hooks, drawing them in. I'd rather get as many as I can. Let's say I'm getting 5,000 views per story. Then boom, in a single story or 2-3 story sequence, I pitch something. And then I move on. I don't ever mention it again. Then story after story after story after story is no pitch at all. Just continuing to work the algorithm, continuing to work the algorithm in my favor. Boom, I'm getting all these views, all this exposure, and then boom, pitch again. And then back off. And then work the algorithm again and squeeze the juice out of that algorithm, work the algorithm again. Most people are skipping the part about working the algorithm. So you're never even really giving yourself a fair chance at even getting the visibility and everything. And what I'm saying is like it's consistency, having content that's delivered via stories consistently over time to your audience, to the point where your stories are showing up very, very quick, very high on their list of stories. And when they click, they like them. So there's a few ways to do this. One is the thumbnail of the story. Let me give you one quick tip that is worth. Now that was the $1 million tip is juicing the algorithm prior to promotion. But here's the tip that makes today's session worth it alone. When you're filming stories, whether they're pictures whether videos, whether it's you, whether it's the other camera, whether you're uploading some other people's content. Shoot, you could do stories for a faceless page. You could do a story with you got a pickleball page and you got pickleball content. Fine. Okay. The first frame, that frame for that story. Okay. I want you to put the slightest amount of effort into that first frame. So this is money's worth it piece right here. An example. Let's go say that it is Dan's birthday and there's a cake with candles. Okay. And you got this idea that you're going to film. Okay. So here you go. So here's Dan right here, right in front of me. Right. But first, before getting to Dan, you want to do a reveal, right? You're like, ooh, let me show that there's a bunch of people in here. There's Nana, Papa, da-da, going all the way over. And then we get all the way over to Dan. Hey, there's Dan. Happy birthday. So what happens is, right in the beginning, all you really see is the back of somebody's head. So when somebody's looking at your stories, okay, like here's like a piece of food, right? When someone's looking at your stories right here, they're going to see the back of someone's head right here. Whereas if you started with like the cake with candles on it, right? If you started with like the cake with candles on it, where it said like happy birthday, let's say that you went right into where you could see happy birthday and then you start your story there and then you backed out and then you panned and showed everybody and then you backed back in. That story is going to be significantly more effective because just like there's thumbnails on YouTube, people have to sit here and click on one of these thumbnails, right? So you got to look at these thumbnails. You got to say, okay, here's a girl. She's using her face. Here's a quote. Here's a picture of a beach. Here's whatever. As you can kind of see, it's like random stuff. But like, so here's like an example. This is my friend Cole. Okay. And he's usually doing like business stuff, right? So here he is. We click on it. Oh, you can't really see it all. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna show you this. This is a little bit better if I'm sharing, but this is just an example of Cole. My friend Cole makes millions of dollars, and he's made over $1 million from stories. So here's a friend who would tell you without a heartbeat that he's probably made millions of dollars from stories. So is there something that we could learn from an entrepreneur who's done tens of millions of dollars in sales and is using stories as like their primary vehicle to connect with their audience? Primary. Like if you go to his profile, you're barely going to see any posts, but let's see. This is, I'm going to look at the number of stories real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's 15 stories here. Okay. 15 stories just today alone that are going to disappear, right? And makes most of his money. So let's just quickly use this as a case study. I'll show you guys this. And I'll show you why this makes so much money and why you might not think about it. Hold on.
Got the crew. We're headed down to Mexico. Got to go visit the orphanage tomorrow. Gonna go down tonight, eat some lobster, stay in the hotel, wake up, and have a whole day about giving. Just sitting down to dinner, and since these guys are coming down to help me out at the orphanage, I just figured I'd take them to Lobster with a View. Check out this view, you guys. Watching the sunset right now. Come on, look at all this lobster. That's just a legacy right there. You're gonna eat this like 5 pounds of lobster, bro. Good morning. Good morning. So in 2010 and 11, I was actually a missionary down here in Ensenada, Mexico. And I was in a season of my life where I didn't know what I was going to do. I was totally lost. I'd been doing real estate for a few years, but the recession was kicking my butt and I was losing money. I didn't know if I was going to do real estate anymore. So I came down here just seeking guidance, asking God for direction. And I did a 3-day water fast for the first time in my life, where for 3 days I just prayed and drank water and asked God for guidance. And on the last day, I sat right here on this bench for about 6 hours looking at this ocean view. And that's where God gave me the idea for Thrive, my conference that thousands of you have come to. That's where I got the idea of a for-purpose business. And that's where I felt very strongly that I would marry my wife, which I ended up doing, literally sitting on this bench. And so I always jog back to this bench and sit on it and just pray and reflect. Not that there's any significance in this bench at all, but it for me was a very defining moment in my life. And so if I could just give you guys a word of encouragement, some of you watching this story right now probably are in a season where you feel lost, where you feel like you need guidance, where you might even feel overwhelmed, where things are falling apart. And in the moment looking forward, you can't see a way out. But I bet you in other seasons of your life in the past, you've been in similar places. And if you look at it, everything always works out for the good and exactly like it's supposed to. So hang in there, because I promise you, no pain, no struggle, no worry is wasted, especially for those of us that are believers. God has an awesome plan for our lives. And so whether it's a bench at the ocean or a jog somewhere else, keep in mind that you are part of something bigger than yourself. And there is a massive, massive plan and blessing for you in your life. So we're here in Mexico at the orphanage right now. This is the actual chapel where they do church on Sundays. That's kind of like the rec center and the kitchen. Over here is the house where the pastor and his wife live. And that right there is the actual orphanage itself. Let's go say hi to the kids. So here we are at the orphanage. This is the actual orphanage where the kids live. And
so let's talk a little bit about this. First of all, let's take a poll. If you know who Cole Hatter is, put a 1. If that was your first time ever even being introduced to Cole Hatter, put a 2. 1, if it's your first time, 2. So look at the chat. That's a lot of 2s, right? Now I'm curious, just from that glimpse of stories, just from a small little glimpse of random stories, unplanned, randomly just catching a day in his life, is there anybody without using 1 or 2, just with the word, is there anybody that feels like that's an entrepreneur that they would enjoy following? Just put yes if you would be interested in following them. I'm curious, right? We don't need no's, because no's wouldn't be helpful for this, because just don't answer, right? We're just looking for the yeses, right? So this just gives you an example. Now, stories are designed to be able to reach your existing audience. So the reason that you don't know about Cole is because Cole spends the majority of his time with his existing audience. So he doesn't spend a lot of time marketing himself out there. So he really just spends a lot of time cultivating what's called KLT factor. And Cole has incredible KLT factor. Now, let me give you an example of Cole's KLT factor. If Cole wanted to join Atlas and IIS today, and he just wanted to post a story just like that. Hey guys, here I am with Chris Recker. Just ran into him. I'm here in Vegas. Just came over here to meet with Chris Recker, talk business. Hey, listen, I'm going to be working with Chris Recker. We got a program that's $100 a month. This is what we're going to be doing. If you guys are interested in joining, swipe up, join, and I'm going to do a bonus. I'm going to do a bonus training with everybody on whatever date, on 2-3 days from now. You got 2 days to join. I'm just saying, if all he did was a story, if you never saw Cole promote anywhere else, if all he just did was a story like this, Cole is going to get, probably 300 plus people to join for $100 a month pretty quickly, like this. So at least this is what I don't think a lot of you understand, is the power of this. Like, if somebody like this could snap their fingers and get hundreds of people to join for $100 a month. Someone said like Jeff. Actually, Jeff did it with the old price, with the old program. We're talking the new program, $100 a month front end program. I mean, that's significantly, like he could add $30,000 a month to his income just with probably 5 stories. So if you guys don't understand, this is what I'm trying to say, the power of stories. Just imagine that somebody like this, who just shares their life, could literally jump on and could do that. But the reason they could do that is because they share their life. This is the part I think a lot of you don't understand. If all he did was come out and just be promoting stuff, then he's not building any value with his audience. But because he's going and sharing like behind the scenes of his life, the trust factor is incredibly high, to the point where He doesn't need a sales page. He would just send people to the join page. He wouldn't need to send people to a sales page. He wouldn't need to say, hey, is there a VSL I could use? Hey, is there a sales page that explains the benefits? He wouldn't need to do any of that because KLT factor is more powerful than any of that. That's why when I joined, I referred hundreds of people who went all in. When I enrolled in this business as an affiliate, I referred hundreds of people who went all in because it's the KLT factor, because I build value with them privately. Now, it's not through stories, it's through Zooms, but it's similar. It's very, very similar. So this is what you may not understand is that, and I'm not at all, by the way, I'm not saying that some random person named John who has 200 people watch his stories is gonna make a sale. Okay. I want to make sure I'm not just saying that stories are so magical. They're like a unicorn in the woods that if you can get 100 people to watch your stories, you're going to get rich. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's still an art to it. But I'm saying that the advantage is that he would just promote via stories. I would not ask him to make an Instagram post. I would not ask him to make a Facebook post. I would not ask him to have to share I would not say, hey, share. You don't have to go share an AI video on your Facebook profile and tell people to DM you with their email if they're interested. I would tell him to skip all of that because his story game is strong. So I would just say, just promote via stories. I would tell him literally, don't promote anywhere unless you have an email list, but don't promote publicly anywhere. I think it's so interesting. You guys may not realize, like, is that the craziest thing ever, right? I would literally go out of my way to say, don't promote this publicly. It's completely not needed. It'll be more harmful to promote publicly. Just promote it via stories and emails. Privately. Just do it all private. It'll be way more effective. So the last thing I'll say about that is I can go through story after story after story right now. The most ideal story is if you're willing to share your actual life. But if you're not willing to share your life, then you're going to have to think about what is some interesting content that you could be sharing that is interesting, that can compete with that. So one good thing is go through and try to find other people like you or other people that are in your industry that do stories well, and try to find some and try to follow them for ideas. So if we go all the way back full circle to Dan and his van, what I might do is I might go follow a bunch of people in the van life or even similar industries. Like, what is similar to van life, right? Travelers, the wanderlust type travelers, backpackers. It's not just vans. There's buses, there's vans, there's campers, RVs. I would like follow a bunch of people in these niches and start and try to find the content, try to find the stories and things like, yeah, off grid, remote, nomad, tiny houses. Exactly. I would follow all these people for inspiration, for ideas. And so then I would see what other people are doing and be like, ooh, and I would also see like what other content are they creating that's kind of going viral, because you want to do both. You need to get followers. Most of you just really don't have, even if you did stories right now, most of you aren't getting many views. And I'm curious to go back to it. I'm just curious let's see if Joe Nathan's still on. Joe Nathan, if you're still on, throw me something in the chat. Just say I'm here or whatever, if you're still on. Let's see if he says. All right. So, okay. He said here. All right. So yeah, like Joe Nathan, sorry, it says reply. I guess he left me a message. I didn't get it, but Joe Nathan, view story. All right. So let's go back. Somebody, where do you send them? And then he posts some reels. So that's the one that I watched from Joe Nathan. There was nothing. If you guys couldn't hear it, there was nothing to hear. It just was an instrumental. There was nothing there. And the instrumental had like a beat that would be hard to play over Zoom. But you didn't miss anything if you couldn't hear it. So essentially, what I would say is like for feedback for this, for example, for context, we're going to full circle back to Joe Nathan. Joe Nathan created a bridge page using video funnels. First of all, fantastic. That's what we should all be learning to do this. We should all be using the tools that we have at our disposal, especially the tools that are included in the program. If you guys are not building bridge pages, if you're not building video funnels, even just practicing and building funnels, you're just missing why would you not be why are you getting on Zooms and just sharpening your axe all day? Like get busy, build some stuff. So he's getting busy, he's building some stuff. Second is he's using what we're teaching. He used AI, he used CapCut. So he's a student who's listening, taking notes, and doing. Okay. And then lastly, he's sharing, which is like, I know a lot of you have messed around with some stuff, but you're embarrassed to share it. Then he's sharing. So he's doing all the right things. But yet there are tiny little tweaks that these things I don't think are like, how do I say it politely? Because I don't want to sound rude because I like Jonathan. But like, I don't think that they'll get results. I feel like it's one of those weird things. It's hard to explain when you're doing the right things and you wonder why, like, why is this not working? Like I just spent my time on it. And the thing is, because there's usually some missing pieces. There's usually some elements that are missing. And this example, for example, this has the feeling of value. If you watch this reel, if you watch this story, whatever that he did, it has the feeling of value. He's literally showing like a lot. He's like showing like a tutorial video with some music behind. He's showing a tutorial video, but yet it isn't. When I say create value, it's not the value I'm referring to. So maybe this is an important little piece that we could talk about. When I say go out there and share value, this is not what I mean. To me, this still is just a pitch. And so let's maybe try to identify this because it looks and feels like value. So we would be a little bit confused, like, Chris, this literally is value by definition, is a tutorial video. If I were Joe Nathan, man, first things first, I would be branding myself. I don't know. He knows this. He knows I've told him this. If I was Joe Nathan, man, I am branding myself. You are seeing me on these videos. I am going to get good and I'm going to practice and I'm going to get my repetition and I'm going to brand myself. First things first is stories go to your friends and followers, people that know who you are or have some interest in liking you. People that friend you or follow you on social media have some interest in you. Now, if it's a faceless brand, they have some interest in the brand. So it needs to be brand specific, whether that brand is you or not. So if it's your personal profile, who's following you? It's going to be your friends, your family, maybe some coworkers, and then it's going to be some industry colleagues. Like we are all industry colleagues, right? So think of, you guys are almost like coworkers. You guys are in it to me. If you go to my profile, you guys fit a similar aspect to coworkers, people that I know through work, right? So if I have like my friends, these are people that like I grew up with or whatever, or that I know on a maybe a personal level. Then I have my family. These are people that are like blood or closely related. Then I have like my coworkers. These are people that I know through business or through work. They are industry colleagues, maybe. And then I have maybe like people that maybe there's people that like I'm a part of some organization with them. You know, we go bowling or we go golfing or you can start a segment. We are all in the category of like we all kind of know each other through work. We are all industry colleagues. So what I would say is if you identify who's in your following and you kind of talk to them through your stories, or you showcase something that fits them, that fits that vibe, you're going to do very, very well. Now you can obviously change that. Like for example, if you only had a couple hundred friends, you got 4,800 available spots, you could go out and you could friend a bunch of realtors. You could start building a real estate niche, in which case all your content, can start to lean that direction. But let's go back to the main point I'm saying. I don't want to drift too far. To me, that's still a pitch. So Joe Nathan said he's here, right? So Joe Nathan, this will be from me to you and then to help you improve. To me, it still felt like a pitch. It just felt like a little sales video that's selling me something. So you're working really hard, you're doing all the right things, but it just still feels like you're just throwing up on people with an opportunity. Now, value. Here's what I would do to create more value out of something like this. One, is what I told you about. Like, what if you just started building up problem solutions? Why should Uber drivers and Lyft drivers be looking at other opportunities? What are some things about, if you're targeting Uber and Lyft, do a sequence. Do a sequence talking about, maybe do this tomorrow. Set up a goal. It says, okay, Tuesday, March 26th, I'm going to find some information about Uber. I'm going to find some information about, about Lyft. I'm going to find some interesting things, I'm going to see if I could find something that shows that like incomes are down, like right off the bat, just to give you perspective, right? In fact, I'm just going to show it to you right now. Just to give you perspective, Joe Nathan, I'm just looking this up right now. This is going to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. I just did a search right here. Uber driver incomes are down. According to Gridwise, Uber drivers have seen a 15% decline in earnings in 2023. This includes 17% decline in gross earnings compared to the previous year, right? So already I can start to see the earnings decline from 2023. The average Uber driver's earnings for expenses declined from 29 an hour to 25 in 2023. So, Uber drivers are making less money. Now let's see some other things. Uber drivers see a dip in their monthly earnings. There's all kinds of stuff. So just going through and trying to find, like, where's some controversy, right? Where is some, Uber driver, let's say Uber driver incomes are down. Let's say Uber driver controversy, Uber controversy, maybe find something. But like I said, I could just talk with some Uber drivers and find out more information than probably this. Yeah, I would say the income, but I would find something here with the income. And then now that I've got the information, I would think, what is a good way to share the information? So I would not just take a screenshot of this, because this is not a good way to share the information. This is a very boring story. This is not appealing to me at all. So now I have to think, now that I have the information, I have to think, okay, and I might get the information from somewhere here. I might get it from like more reputable source or something like that, right? So I might say there's Forbes down here. There's Fast Company, looks a little bit more legit. It's the same information, so it's the same information. So now I might just simply say, now how can I present this information in a way that finds out if there's people that are in my followers that are Uber drivers or Lyft drivers, So it's kind of like that. I'm just looking now. How can I figure out a way to, one, bridge this information to the offer that I have, but two, how can I also make it entertaining for everybody to watch? So I also want to be thinking, it's not just about the Uber drivers that I might have in my following, but it's also just the regular people that might be interested. Like, some of you might not drive for Uber, but you still might be interested in information that is, it's entertainment in a way, right? Gossip, drama, controversy, hearing about, did you know this? Did you know that? People like this kind of stuff. So if you can kind of get good at this, if you can get good at relaying information in a way that's beneficial to everybody, then your view count's going to get up. And so the other thing I'm looking for, if I'm going to share this, so I want to be looking for a combination. Let's think about this. One is I'm looking for a combination of, one is like, what's a good starting screen? So what's a good thumbnail for it, so that the people that are on Facebook, looking at stories or whatever, what's a good thumbnail, right? So let me go through these thumbnails. Like, here's Peter Vu, my friend Peter Vu, right? So first thing I'm thinking is like, okay, so here's Peter Vu. He's sitting. Okay, so here he is. Oh, sorry. He's sitting at a podcast mic just like this, right? He's probably going to be on a podcast. He's probably filming behind the scenes before he gets on a podcast, right? So imagine that this is Joe Nathan. Okay, so imagine this Joe Nathan, he's just got a mic. Mic doesn't even have to work, right? This doesn't even have to be plugged in right now. It could just look like a mic, right? It doesn't even have to work because I could just talk into my phone. And I could use Adobe Podcast if it sounded bad. But bottom line is this right here, and up here he's got Boise, Idaho. But instead it could have like a short amount of text up here that just says, Uber drivers' incomes is 17% down. That's it. So now I've got the thumbnail. Does this make sense? Like, that's the thumbnail. So now I've got thumbnail. So now if somebody would click it through, it's like, if there's an interest, it could show Uber, or even just having, what about me and more, sorry. What about being more, just having the Uber logo and the Lyft logo? You could just upload those right through the story app. You can just add images, stuff like that, add Uber, add Lyft. So bottom line, you can really just get creative with this.
I don't think so. What's the time? My kids just play literally all day outside.
Look, he's just walking with his phone saying, my kids just play all day outside. My kids play all day, my kids play outside all day with each other. Okay, so in an example, how does that help? How does that help Peter? By the way, Peter's another millionaire friend of mine. How does that help Peter to make money if he's just showing my kids have lots of room to play in the background, in the backyard? One, it's making him seem real. He's just a father like everybody else. He just puts on his pants one leg at a time like everybody else. Two, it shows that he has an interest in his children. Okay, he's a father who's in his children's life. Three, fathers that are in their children's life that care about their children are generally, whether the majority of us would agree, more trustworthy, right? So you're starting to, what you don't realize is that it's a huge thing about trust. And then also, as you invest time into watching the stories, you'll get to know somebody. You'll feel like you get to know them. And it's like stories are the ultimate KLT factor. Now let's switch this over to, let's see this story. It's right next to it. Okay. A plan is useless unless action is taken. Take action. Now, this is from one of our community members. I'll show this again real quick, just to kind of get it. So this is another one, right? A plan is useless unless action is taken. Take action. So now let's compare this real quick to Peter or to Cole, right? And the thing is that Peter and Cole are building KLT factor with their audience. Does this build KLT factor with your audience? Right? I want you to start to think like this. Now, there's a way that it can, but I want you to really start to understand what we're talking about so you guys can get it. Scott says, seems like Cole Hatter hardly posts any Facebook Lives or Instagrams. Yeah, like I said, Cole pretty much just makes millions of dollars through stories. And stories disappear in 24 hours. Cole Hatter probably has over 10,000 stories, right? Let's put this into perspective. I want you guys to get some perspective here, right? I want you to get some perspective. Stories, you guys got to remember, stories disappear. You can never see them again, ever. They're gone in 24 hours. You can never see them again. Okay, so I'm going to give you some perspective right now. I'm going to give everybody some perspective. We're going to keep it really, really simple. Okay, so watch this. I'm going to share my screen, and just watch and kind of get the idea here, right? So here's Cole Hatter. Okay, so look at this: 568 posts. 568 posts. Now, first of all, that's a lot of posts. This is an enormous amount of posts. Okay. You're rarely going to find somebody who's posted 568 times. Okay. Now, so you look at all these posts, right? And he's experimented with everything, right? He's got his own little training memes, stuff like this. What's on the volume?
So romanticized and infatuated with the idea of being an entrepreneur, running a business, and we build what that dream business looks like. That we go do it at the cost of our own happiness.
Right. So he's paying people to edit up his videos and putting memes and stuff like that, showcasing family. You know, there he is with his two daughters, showcasing family, sort of like your traditional kind of celebrity stuff, authority, success. You know, he's showcasing like speaking authority, training, value, mixing in some quotes, family life, you know, personal life. So you can see he's just doing a good job in terms of, you know, showcasing all of the different variety, right? But you would say mostly you would get the feeling of this guy is an entrepreneur, right? So he's got authority with famous people, authorities with a billionaire. You know, he's got the authority pictures. He's out here, you know, doing the charity stuff, motivational speakers, charity, family. So, you really start to kind of see what he's built in a brand here. And I only chose him on accident. This is not somebody say with authority with Gary Vee. I only chose him on accident because he showed up in my stories. It's not like this training is built around this guy. I need you to kind of understand this, but and I spoke at his event as well. So like here at this event, this Thrive conference, I spoke and performed at this event as well with all these people. I filmed, there's Billie Jean. I filmed a video, I filmed a music video. I've got Cole Hatter in it. Entrepreneurs Got Choices was filmed at that event. But yeah, just kind of going through, if you just kind of look at this, you'll kind of get an idea of how somebody's gone the personal branding route. Now, there's, I'm going to go through a little bit more, but there's also some skepticism that comes along with this. And probably the biggest skepticism that I hear people when I get feedback on this is that people feel like, oh, well, I'm not as good looking, or my life is not as good. Look at him. He's got perfect wife, perfect children, successful millions of dollars. This is just a misconception. This whole process here is replicatable with anybody. I could take a 70-year-old grandma with one follower and replicate this entire process. This whole thing it's all replicatable. If you think even for a minute that this type of content is that there's only certain people that can do this, then you've completely missed the whole point of this type of content in the first place. You missed what makes this content go well, do well. It is not Cole. Like, this is the big thing I understand. It is not Cole that is making this content do well. It is not Cole's wife. It is not Cole's daughters. Okay. It is not this picture of Cole standing in front of a Thrive sign. These are not the things that make this content do well. So that's the big thing you got to understand first and foremost, is that literally anybody could do this. Now, that being said, even though anybody could do this, and you're probably going to have to get over your own mind, you're going to have to get out. It's just mindset. Even though anybody could do this, let's go to stories here. Look, so here he is in Mexico, food, weather, beach. He's telling a story, and then he's at an orphanage, and then there's kids. He's showing how he's like hanging out with the kids, playing soccer, helping to build the kids' house, helping to build a little dorm room for the kids, then the girls. Okay, so that's his thing, right? That's where the stories go. The stories disappear. So he's probably done 10,000 versus 568. So he's probably done 20 times more stories. I would say even more. I think 10,000 is probably an understatement. He's probably averaged 5 stories a day for the time that, they've been out. Now, this is also an opportunity right here to promote. So when you're doing stories, this here is also an opportunity to promote. So an example would be, rather than worrying about promoting too much here, when you do promote, you can save these as like saved story highlights. So over here, at least on Instagram, right? Over here, you can go here and you can basically highlight some stories. So in this case, he's highlighting, his 75 hard journey, his workout journey. So he went and did 75 hard, lost a bunch of weight, got in shape, and he took a bunch of stories while he was doing it, just running and stuff like that. And he was proud of it. So he went through and saved these. He saved these stories as a highlight. So now he can always go back and go watch through these again. And this one's Thrive. So this is his conference. So he shared story highlights of his event, and his mastermind and all kinds of stuff. So he's shared just how it's grown over the years and everything about it, the yacht parties, the things he's done. So these become like highlights of his life, right? So he's able to share these as well. So if you just came in, you can watch that, right? Thrive connects the mastermind, and this is the conference itself. So talk about planning it, and he's talking about in all the speakers. There's with Ty Lopez, all this kind of stuff. So you can kind of see all of these types of things, right? So what's funny is I'm with these guys right here in this picture. I'm actually with them. I just it's in my stories, but like they were doing a promo, so I got out of the way for it. But the point is that this is these saved highlights is a great place to be able to put content that you want to be able to promote things. So let's say that you're mostly creating value up here where people get to know, like you, and trust you through the stories. Well, over here, you've also got the opportunity to be able to, you're going to maybe do like every week you do some sort of promotion. Well, you could also think about like, okay, what do I want as a highlights? This could be like 20 stories that are really selling something. So you could do like a whole sequence up here. Let's say there's a whole sequence for Uber and Lyft drivers that you did. If you're Joe Nathan, then over here you could put like Uber/Lyft. And the very first story could say like, hey, are you an Uber or Lyft driver? Watch these stories for more information. It becomes a sequence and you save it down here. So it goes live and then it disappears after 24 hours, but then it can live on in your highlights and you can start to build out a profile that way. And you can build it out for every different bridge or everything that you're doing. So I just want you to kind of learn a little bit from this, is that, and this is enormous. Like you'll notice like a lot of these people that have like 10,000 stories will have like 100 posts, right? Instead, they won't have that many posts. That's an enormous amount of posts. So if you realize, and you guys are, especially some of the older ones, you guys are still going to be very, very stuck on the idea that the stories are not for you, and that stories are not for you because you're not like these people. So you're always going to be, I don't even know if I want to spend the time to get you out of your own head, but you're always going to be thinking like that. And it's just, I want you guys to understand something about it. It's just mindset. It's literally just mindset. You are simply in your own head. There is no truth to it. You are just simply creating an excuse that does not exist for whatever reason to make for your worldview. I want to do a more in-depth version of training. Let me go back to this post by Marcus, which said, I lost it, but it was like a quote. I lost it. It was a quote and it said something like take action. Okay. But it was just like an AI picture. Okay. I lost it. It was like an AI picture and it said take action. Can anybody tell me, and a lot of you guys, I know a lot of you guys have been saying to spend more time on stories, that you guys really like this topic. We'll see. I'll fill it out. But can you guys quickly tell me, to make sure everybody's paying attention here, to make sure I'm not just talking the whole time? Why is that quote? Why is that not really building KLT factor? Because that's a community member here. Scott said, okay, Scott was the one that said, it looks like he hardly posts anything. Yeah, but that's because they disappear. He didn't know that. Stacy said he's already acquired his following. Stories of her retention and building KLT. Yeah, and the way that he acquired his following was brilliant. That's a whole nother thing. Can you post a story to Instagram and Facebook at the same time? Yes. The short answer is yes. And the short answer is also that a lot of people do it because it's the lazy way. But I personally am not a huge fan of it, but there are some situations in which it's fine. Yes, when you guys are creating stories, you could just choose an option where they all saved your phone. So like when you're creating stories, you're getting in the habit of using the video camera on your stories instead of the video camera on your phone. And look, it's better. Hold on. Let me just show you guys. Okay. Watch this. Just watch. Okay. Look, here's a video camera. This is a nice phone too, by the way. Okay. So here's a video camera, right? There's a camera I'm not even using. I'm just using my webcam. Okay. So here's a video camera, right? Video camera. So what's up? This is Chris, and I'm just saying hi on the video camera. Hold on. What's up? This is Chris, and I'm just saying hi on the video camera. That's what it looks like, right? Now, just right off the bat, let's just say that I create this as a story instead, just to show you, okay? And there's like 100, but like I'm just gonna do one right off the bat just to show you the difference. Filter number one, just simple. Let me do another one. Watch this one. What's up, guys? This is Chris, and I'm just showing you another filter. What's up, guys? This is Chris, and I'm just showing you another filter. What's up, guys? This is Chris, and I'm just showing you another filter. So, what's up, guys? This is Chris. I'm just showing you another filter. Okay, I got mute up here if I want. But then right here, I can just go save. I can just right click and I can just press save. I don't even have to post it, right? So one thing that I would encourage you to do, here's a simple assignment, even for those of you, I know some of the grandmas and grandpas on here, you guys think this stuff's still for kids, but here's what I would encourage you to do. Here's an assignment. Try doing some videos using either Facebook stories or Instagram stories. So go in and try recording some videos, play with the filters, but don't post them. When you're done making the video, just save the video. Just do that. No one has to see it publicly, okay? Nobody has to know it exists, but you'll get familiar with what the stories, you'll get familiar with how to add music to it. You'll get familiar with how to add words to it. Just spend the week familiarizing yourself with stories. It is well worth it. That's where I would start with. But what I'm saying is, why use your camera when you can use that? The only reason that I would want to use my video camera over that, because there's great filters. You could just, like, you could go through the filters and find a filter that looks very realistic, but it just, takes away a couple wrinkles. It doesn't make you look AI. It just smooths out your face, okay? Gives you a little bit of a tan, but it doesn't change you. Just a regular filter. You'll already look better. Why would you want to use a regular camera if you could use that? So right off the bat, that's already an improvement. If you're going to take videos or pictures of your grandkids or your kids, why not do it there? The only real reason to use a video camera is if you're going to film a long time. If you want to film for like several minutes, sure. But if you're just filming something short, something cute, like your kids are playing, your grandkids are playing, you want to just film them real quick, film them through the app. It's just way better. When I was filming my kids this last week over all the different stuff we did, it's just constantly using the Instagram app, but I didn't post any of its stories. I just used the Instagram app to film it all. All right, let me go through some of these. What can be done with faceless stories? Faceless stories, all the same stuff we're talking about. You just wouldn't use the camera on your phone, but it's the same kind of concept. But we could talk, if you guys want to dedicate this session to it, we could talk about that. That's going to require at least another half an hour. Okay, so I asked if it's building KLT factor, and these are the answers. No clue, it's too direct, it's not giving you new info, no substance, it's not personal, not connecting, it's not personable, no benefit to audience, it's telling somebody what to do, it's telling you to do something. Okay, so you guys kind of get it, but you kind of don't get it. It's motivational quotes are what I call filler content. If you guys have ever heard me in like fast boot camp or anything, motivational quotes are filler content. So they're not content that you would use to connect with somebody. They're not designed in any way for any personal connection at all with somebody. So they are not designed for KLT factor at all. 100%, they are not designed for that. However, they do have the purpose of, there's an audience out there of people that like motivational quotes because they're easy to consume. Motivational quotes are easy to consume on the internet. So motivational quotes do work for customer acquisition. They can go viral. They're easily shareable. They're easy to make. They don't require a lot of stuff. So I call them filler content because generally they don't perform well, but they could. But they're only used for acquisition. So if I were going to use a motivational quote in social media as a story, I would say, how can I personalize this? For example, can I give the quote? Can I share a picture of me? Can I simply upload a picture of me with a motivational quote that I came up with? You guys have heard me say some motivational quotes, right? So let's say that the motivational quote is, what's something I've said recently? Come on, guys, I'm Mr. Motivate. Okay, how about this one? It's easier to learn something than it is to unlearn something. Let's say that's the quote. Okay. It's easier to learn something than it is to unlearn something. So what I could do is I could just take a picture of me, upload it as a story, and then put some text over it. It's easier to learn something than it is to unlearn something. Okay. That is going to be a little bit more appealing because, one, the thumbnails of me, so it'll draw anybody that follows me or whatever is going to recognize me and be like, ooh, I want to see Chris. I want to see the latest Chris picture or whatever. And there's a little motivational quote. And they're starting to see, okay, it starts to become a little bit of value. Here's what I would do though, differently than you. And this doesn't make me better than you. I'm just saying this is what I would do if I were to add. How could I take that simple concept and add years of experience to it? This is what I would do. I would create a sequence out of it. I would simply have a picture that says, that's a cool picture of Chris Record, maybe even an AI filter, some cool text on it, right? Just like I would do in Canva. I would just create it in Canva, save it, upload it as a story. By the way, stories, you can just upload any image from your phone. You can also upload any video from your phone. So if you've ever recorded videos in the past, you can upload those as stories. I just upload a picture, put the quote on it. But then what I would do is, I would say, watch the next story for an explanation, something like that, right? With a little arrow pointing to the right. Watch the next story for an explanation. Then the next story would be like me like this. All right, so what do I mean by it's easier to learn something than it is to unlearn something? Well, for example, I go live Monday through Friday, every single day for 2 hours a day to my private community, okay? And I'm always teaching them new things, and people have no problem learning new things. The hardest thing that everybody faces is unlearning things from their past. For example, most people that I coach have had jobs for like 20, 30, 40 years, right? And so they've learned an employee mindset. So when I'm telling them things about being an entrepreneur, they're able to learn these new skills, but it's extremely hard for them to unlearn 40 years of programming and conditioning about being an employee. And so what happens is they often carry that over into their entrepreneurship journey, and it makes it so much more difficult for them. But there's a solution, and I'm going to share with you a solution on the next video. Done. Next video. All right, so let's talk about the solution. So do you see what I'm saying here? Is like the picture, cool. It's a cool little picture. It starts the sequence, but I'm going to do a sequence that's going to be 2 or 3 or 4 stories that are going to make the point. So now when somebody actually comes and watches that, they're going to see value. They're going to walk away and be like, when I click on Chris's stories, it is worth my time. And if you guys understand how many times we've talked about this, this is called the VRS, the variable reward system. So when people go on social media, most of it is garbage. Most of it is junk. Most of it, you're going to feel like you are wasting your time on social media. You're going to feel a little bit bad about being a consumer, wasting time on your phone. That's going to be the experience. But every once in a while, there's a reward. There is something valuable that you're so glad you saw. Oh, boom, a new post a new post right here in the Atlas Academy Facebook group. Oh, let's check it out. Oh, wow, I didn't even know this existed. Oh, look at this. Next thing you know, you're getting a dopamine rush, or, oh my God, somebody just got married, or somebody just had a kid, or whatever it is. Now you're starting to get a reward. Now you wasted 10 minutes to find that thing, but when you found the thing, it justified the 10 minutes. It became worth it. There's a variable reward system in everything, by the way. There's a variable reward system happening here on this Zoom, okay? We're 90 minutes in, or roughly 80 minutes in, and maybe the entire 80 minutes was not exactly what you needed to hear, but throughout it, maybe there's 10 minutes where it's kind of like, maybe it's talking about something you're not caring about, but then boom, something valuable was said. And then that valuable little thing made it worth the 10 minutes before. So what's happening is there's this variable reward system. It's like you're sitting there playing a slot machine, and most of the time it's losing, but then it wins. And there's always the chance for the jackpot. So if you just stay on and you're attentive, there might be $1 million lesson in here that might be the thing that you need to hear. That's exactly what you want. Maybe Chris goes into a Preacher Chris moment and solves a problem. Or maybe Chris shares a simple little strategy because he's just sharing off the cuff, something that's really easy to implement that you could just go do and have success with. So there's these jackpots. And so you're kind of getting these little dopamine hits along the way of maybe a potential jackpot. This is all a variable reward system that justifies your time being on this Zoom. So you need to understand that's how social media works as well. It's a variable reward system. It's how TV shows work. You understand this, right? Like if you watch a TV series, they've got to start giving you open loops, character development. They've got to give you some suspense. They've got to create some drama. They've got to create some cliffhangers. When they get to the end of the episode, they can't just end the episode. They have to create a new loop for something that needs to be solved in your brain that forces you to have to watch the next episode to be able to find out. It has to continue. And so now that's what's going to hook you to watch that next thing. It's a variable reward system that's happening everywhere. So when you understand this variable reward system, that's what's happening in social media. You need to train people that when they consume your content, that's a reward. That most people's content is garbage. Most people's content is just garbage, but your content is a reward. And the better you can get at doing that, the more effective you're going to be with it. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to be like Chris Reckard and be able to speak off the cuff about some topic. Again, you're going to have to, unlearning is the hard part, right? You're going to have to get that out of your mind. In order to even be coachable here, you're going to have to get that out of your mind. There's 100 or 1,000 different ways to do stories. I'm teaching you principles. There's 1,000 ways to do the story. You don't even have to be on camera. But if you understand if you get out of your mind, and I know this is in your mind because it was in my mind, and I'm a little bit more advanced. So I know it's in your mind. I know a lot of you are hung up on stories because you just simply think your life's not interesting and you don't want to be on video and you don't know what to film and you don't know what to post for stories. Oh, there you go. That's just generally why most of you don't do it. But instead, what you should do is post 10 stories a day, regardless of that thought. That's not a real thought. That is just a real excuse. That's all it is, a real excuse. You could easily post 10 stories a day and you could start practicing and you will get better over time. I've easily posted 10,000 stories. Cole Hatter's posted 10,000. Peter's probably, everybody I've shown you so far has probably posted 10,000 stories. And we all sucked when we started. Let me give you an example. There's a girl I know that is very, very, very attractive. Very, very, very attractive. Okay. Like by general societal standards or whatever. But she doesn't think she is. So she has no stories. Like she'll never post stories of herself. And for the longest time, I thought I didn't know what she looked like. Okay. So for the longest time, I thought it was just like kind of like grandma vibes to me. It was just kind of like this person is just like the camera. They're only using this camera. They're never doing a selfie. There's never pictures of themselves. They're always just posting like quotes. You never hear their voice. You never see their face. You never see the body. You have no idea what they look like, but there's constant stories, constant stories. And then one day out of nowhere, she got like a haircut or, went to a hairstylist to show her new hair. And I was like, what? That's what she looks like this whole time. And this, like, I've been seeing her stuff for probably like a year up until this point. And I was like, what? She looks like this? This is shockingly beautiful. And then like I looked at her profile, whatever, and I realized like she used to do even, I don't know if it was not news, but she used to do something on camera. She used to do like not news, like not like a talk show, but like one of those types of things. Like she like an anchor, like a interview, like she would do like with the microphone, like interviews, like some type of thing like that. Not necessarily news, but like something of the standard for like 20 years was her career. So what happened? So I asked her, I go, hey, I got a question. You never post yourself. No pictures, no videos, no nothing. It's the first time I've seen you post yourself. You never post yourself. I'm curious why. And she was like, oh, I used to do that when I was younger, but I'm not going to post myself now. And I was like, what? And I promise you guys, like without, unless I actually go on and find her, I promise you guys will sit there and go like, you got to be kidding. This woman's in her like 50s, right? But she is just, I promise, like, who she reminds me of is that girl. Do you know the husband from Married with Children? Do you know this guy? And he went on to go do a new TV show, a new TV series, and he had a new wife. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? I don't know the name of the show or the wife's name, but it's a famous female actress. I think she's like South American or something like that. Let me see in the chat if somebody is it. There you go. Sofia Vergara. Sofia Vergara. Sorry, I'm not like huge on pop culture. Sofia Vergara. Yeah. So this woman looks like Sofia Vergara and never posts herself. And her reason was her age. And I was like, okay, all I'm saying is like, you guys don't realize like in my mind, I'm like, all this woman right here, if she joined this business, all she would have to do is just like talk. Hi guys, I'm in this business. She's just like that. Like, and I'm not saying attractive, like, I'm not saying like emptiness of attractiveness. I'm saying like attraction, like law of attraction. She's like magnetic. Her personality is magnetic. Her look is radiating. Like it's not like a romantic attraction. Like you guys would feel the same way. It's just it's like, some people just have that charisma of attraction. She has it. And so I'm just saying that all she'd have to do is just talk and she would do just fine. So she's like Sofia Vergara. I don't know. She's like Colombian or something like that. But she's just beautiful. She's in her 50s and looks like she's in her 30s. Perfect hair, perfect look. And it was like not even a phone camera with like, it was like no filter. There was no trying. And she's like deathly afraid of sharing anything personal. And you go to her profile and it's like the worst, all of her stories, the worst posts. And she's got like 300 friends on Facebook, just no effort whatsoever to try to, and she's in marketing. She's like doing crypto or something. I don't know what she's doing. She's into business opportunities. Makes no sense. My point is that like everybody thinks this way. It's not just you. It's literally people that are just like, they have no excuse. You would sit there, be scratching your head. And yet there's other people I can show you that don't have good looks based on society standards. They don't speak well. But they just don't care. You know, the big thing about them, they don't care. They're more oblivious to it. They're like, you know, they just don't care. So they just do what they're going to do and they absolutely blow it up. So I want to say something about that. I had a train of thought there that I was going with, which is when I saw this, I looked at all of her posts and their posts are all bad. She is not drawing in any KLT factor. She's not, it's just like a series, like she'll go on these like she'll post like 10 or 20 memes. Like, you know, these like picture memes. She'll just post like 10 or 20 picture memes on a regular day. Or she'll constantly post like walking a dog. And so she'll just video like walking the dog. Oh, this is the main thing I wanted to say. Okay. So here's what she does with her stories. Okay. I don't know how long stories last on every platform, but we're going to go ahead and just give some arbitrary numbers. Let's say that a Facebook story lasts 20 seconds. Eventually it's going to cut you off. Okay. But let's just say there's every platform has different ones, right? Instagram, whatever. So let's just say it's 20 seconds and it cuts you off. Okay. 30 seconds, whatever, cuts you off. So what she'll do is she'll film the entire amount of time until it cuts off. And I cannot understand why. It makes it so difficult to watch her stories. So she'll just be sitting there and she'll just be like walking. She won't even talk. She'll just be like walking the dog. And then she'll pan up and then she'll pan over and then back to the dog. And then she'll pan up again and like look over here and then like go up to like the sun and then it'll end. And then she'll just put like the text. It'll be like, beautiful day. What a beautiful day to be outside. And that's it. But it's like, this is a good point I want to make. It's not personal. It's not building a KLT factor. It's not valuable, but it is organic. It is how stories are intended. It is her dog. It's a real life day and you're getting to see behind the scenes of this character. But it's too long. Do you know that she could have just done that same story in 5 seconds? Like she could have done like walking the dog, just like a pan, like walking the dog. Boom, done. Why do I need to spend 30 seconds waiting for the next story to go? So all that's going to make me want to do is skip to the next story. So I want you guys to understand that like when you're creating stories, the big thing about stories is that you need to deal with people that have low attention spans. So you need to deal with people that are just like, there's thousands of other stories to get to. So you don't want people to skip through your stories. You want people to actually watch your stories. So you want to keep your stories short. You want to keep them to the point. You want to keep them valuable. And you don't just want to have words. You also have to realize there's another key thing, which is people are watching stories with the volume off. A lot. I don't know the exact number, but I think it's safe to say that half of your viewers are going to watch your stories with the volume off. The reason is because most people don't have a headset plugged in all the time, right? So when they're watching stories, usually there's people around, you know, because they're just like doing, or maybe they're even in the bathroom, but they don't want to have it be loud and have other people hearing. So it's just so much easier just to like flip through and just watch people's lives vicariously through stories without actually listening to anything. So you want to get really good at creating stories, both for the half of the people that actually are going to listen and pay attention to them, and the other half of the people that don't have any volume on. So when you're posting all your stories, listen with no volume and ask yourself, am I getting the same point? You can do this pretty easily by putting some captions on, some words on. And then also you'll realize it makes sense to be able to sequence out your stories, because if you put together a story sequence of like 5 stories that actually makes sense, boom, let me make a point of how important this is. Here's a simple story idea. If you guys just want an idea right now for something, here's a simple story idea. What about top 5 AI tools for entrepreneurs? Okay, I did a list yesterday of the top top 5 AI tools for entrepreneurs. I think I even did like top 7. You can make it a top 10 list. Okay, so here's the idea for the sequence. During this sequence, I want my viewers to be able to learn about 10 different AI tools that they can use as an entrepreneur. So then I am giving them value. I am meeting the variable reward system. I'm increasing my views. I'm increasing my watch time, and I'm building my KLT factor. It is all beneficial to me. And I could even pitch something at the end if I want. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to pitch anything to the end. So what I'm going to do is I need to set the premise. Why do people want to know the AI tools? Why is this important? What is it that I'm going to share with them, right? They need to know. You can't just dive right into sharing AI tools. They got to be something that's got to explain why this is beneficial for them, right? So what I might do is I might say, there might be a few stories that say, like that show them the results. So I might say something along the lines of, did you know that AI logos can be created in 30 seconds or less that look like this, and then have an AI logo? And then on the next screen, it could say something like, or did you know that AI talking avatars can be made that look exactly like this, and that talk and say anything you want in just minutes? And the last one. And did you know that literally any music can be created in just seconds with a click of a mouse, automatically royalty and copyright free, just like the music that's playing right now in the background? In the next, so in the next few slides, I'm going to share with you my top 5 AI tools for all entrepreneurs to help you do all this and more. Okay, so that's slide 1 result, slide 2 result, slide 3 result. Then here's the main meat of what you're going to get. Then slide 1 value, slide 2 value, slide 3 value, slide 4 value, slide 5 value, then summary. Altogether, I have 3 slides of pre-hype, just results, 5 slides of value, that's 8, 1 title slide in the beginning, that's in between them, that's 9, and then 1 call to action slide at the end, that's 10. That is a 10 story sequence. And that's a 10 story sequence that doesn't require, if you don't want to, doesn't require you filming your face, doesn't require your voice, could just all be done just with text on the screen, right? So this, but you understand the value here. This comes across as actual value. Then at the end, the call to action could say, hey, if you're interested, I actually have an ebook that shares 101, and you could actually just be scrolling through it. Like this is another thing I need you guys to understand, right? Is that you could just be scrolling through it. I'm going to show you guys right now what I would do. You could just be scrolling through it for the video. So on your phone, you guys have the ability to be able to record your screen, most phones. And if you can't, you guys can like Google that or figure that out. I'm just going to show you like an example right now. Okay. This is going to be like a real quick example. I'm not going to spend a lot of time for it, but I just pulled up this document. It's in the Google Drive. So what I'll do is I'll go up here to the top and I'll just press record on my screen right there. Right. And so 1, 3, 2, 1, now it's recording. And now that it's recording, I'll just kind of scroll through like this. Just like that. Stop. Okay. Now I've got a video and I'll do it. I could even be talking while I do it, right? But I've got the little video right there. And I could even be talking while I do it if I want. But the point is that just like that, now I don't even need any talking. I could just, that's my call to action. My call to action is literally just me scrolling through a thing. And I could say, hey, if you guys are interested, I have an entire PDF with 101 AI tools, a complete list. Just send me a DM with your email address and I'll send it to you. And then even after all that, I could just have one black slide that just says send me a DM with your email address and I'll send you 101 AI tools for entrepreneurs PDF. There we go. So it ends up being 11 slides in a sequence. That alone is a powerful story sequence. Now, The problem is that there's two problems. That's easy to do, by the way. Anybody can do this. Okay. That is something, I don't care who you are, you can do that. You don't need your face. You don't need your video. You can make all these slides inside of Canva if you wanted. Okay. Or just have fun with them. But some of you that are artistic, or some of you that understand how to be able to use CapCut or how to use Canva, and obviously there's better ways to do it than just that. The problems. Problem number one is you don't have a lot of people that will see the story. So the first problem you're going to run into is you don't have an audience. So sure, you go through all that effort, you post it, and you get like one DM or no DMs, right? Because you have no audience. I would overcome that problem and say right now, what you need more than that is you need practice. You need practice. I think that would be a great homework assignment, just to create a story sequence of something like that. If you guys have a business audience at all, is there anybody here that feels like that in their, let's say, Facebook friends, that you've got people that are entrepreneurs or network marketers? Put a 1 in the chat if you feel like you have a decent amount of percentage of people or your friends are like into business. They care about entrepreneurship or network marketing or affiliate marketing or making money. So look, for those of you that are saying 1 right now, the last Zoom that I did top 10 income producing activities. You know what I'm saying? Like, so let's use that as another example. So here's an example, right? Let's look at the form. Let's take this training that I did and let's break it down. So watch this. Long form is Chris spends 2.5 hours live on a Zoom, freestyling off the cuff about a bunch of stuff. Okay. That's the best. It's the best because you're going to get the most value out of it. However, it's the worst because people don't always have 2.5 hours to consume content, especially every day or whatever. So just because you made it to watch that doesn't mean that the average person is going to be able to set aside 2.5 hours to watch. So it's the best and the worst all at the same time, right? It's the best form of content. Just like Joe Rogan's podcast or whatever. It's like 3 hours long. It's the best that it's that long. If it were 4 hours long, it'd be better. But that doesn't mean I don't have time to watch his podcasts. So because it's 3 hours long, he's lost me. But I'm not going to deny it. It is the best that it is that long. Like, the only thing that would be better than that is if it were longer, because you want time. Like, if he's interviewing Elon Musk, I would rather him interview Elon Musk for 10 hours. There's going to be more value in that than there is from an hour. But I only want to watch the clips. I don't actually want to sit down and watch the whole podcast. I want somebody else to find the highlights for me. What was good about this? And send that to me or post it somewhere where I can find it. So same thing with us. Like, I'll do like a 2.5 hour training on top 10 income producing activities, but that's not what people need. What people need is they need someone like you to break it down for them, to consolidate that information and repurpose it for them. So I am providing you the fodder, the ammo, and then your goal is to go out there and repurpose it. So here's how this gets repurposed. Okay. First, repurposing is just shortening, condensing it. So I spoke, let's say, for 2.5 hours. Out of those 2.5 hours, let's say that 1 hour of it was spent purely on the income producing activities. So you'd find the start point and the stop point. Boom. You have just taken a 2.5 hour training and cut it down to 1 hour and got the main part. Like, okay, if you're interested in learning about the top 10 income producing activities, here's a 1 hour replay. That would already be better. You just save somebody 1.5 hours of time and it gets right to the point. That's already improvement. So improvement number 1 would be that. Improvement number 2, if you rewatch that hour, I'll bet you that could be clipped down into maybe like half an hour, because I probably go on some tangents. There's probably sections that can be clipped out that aren't needed to make the point. So you could probably even cut that down to half an hour. Boom. That's even better. That would be like step 3 as you repurposing. Step 4 would say, okay, instead of half an hour, people still don't have a half an hour. If I could get this video under 10 minutes, now we've really got a powerful video. Chris Record given his top 10 income producing activities in 10 minutes or less. So now you're really working a little bit harder. What can I cut out? It's all so good, but people don't have half an hour. If they did, I'll just let them watch the full one. If I had to repurpose this in 10 minutes, how could I? So you'd start figuring out what can I cut out? And then whoever does that, now you got a 10-minute video. Now you've got gold. Okay. But Even on top of that 10-minute video, you can't post a 10-minute video to a reel. You can't post it to a shorts. So now you also got to be thinking, how can I repurpose this as short form content, right? We did long form down. We went from 2.5 hours to an hour to 30 minutes, 10 minutes. That's great. Now you're looking at the other side, which is, okay, how can I break this down? Stories are a great way to break this down. So are reels. You know, if this were a reel that I was doing, I would have all 10 income producing activities all written up already, either written up on a whiteboard or I would have them in a document. So just like I was scrolling through this document right here, why not just do the same thing here? Okay. So look at this. What do I have here? I have number 9 marketing blocks. Then I have a thumbnail. Then I have some text. And then I have a link, a couple links. Then I have number 10. Number 10, write me a thumbnail, a description, some links. Number 11, revoicer, a thumbnail, description, links. So see, I created a system. Could I do the same exact thing right now with the top 10 income producing activities? Number 8, whatever it is, right? Content creation, and then put a thumbnail and then just put a little description. So literally what I could do is I can make an ebook right now, which is top 10 income producing activities for network marketers. And I could just have a nice little cover photo and have each one of the income opportunities, number 1, the title of it, and then a thumbnail and then a description of whatever was said about it. A summarized description of whatever Chris Recker said. Now for the thumbnail, you could just use AI art. You could just use AI art, or you could just go find some clip art online. It's not hard, right? But you could use AI art. And in fact, you can use ChatGPT. I'll bet you with a few tries, you could probably get ChatGPT to spell the words right. I'll bet you some of you know exactly how to do this. I've seen some of your AI going really well. Ian's always posting AI in here. I've seen Stefan post some good AI in here that does this kind of stuff. I'm sure a lot of you guys know. Like literally, if the idea, if number 3 was, let's say stories. Let's say it was like Instagram stories was one of the income producing activities, right? Instagram stories. I'll bet you could get ChatGPT to spell Instagram stories right. And if not, you could probably get it to post stories right. And you could describe like a woman looking at her phone and hearts are on a social media site on her phone with hearts flying off the screen. And she's in a futuristic background with like LED lights and everything. And on the top is the word stories, and it's like, next thing you know, boom, there's the thumbnail. So what I'm saying is you could literally make an ebook in probably less than an hour. And now you have your lead magnet, right? So this becomes your, now you could create a reel about this. I could be like, your reel could say something like, I'm going to use Stefan. What's up, everybody? Stefan here. Today, I'm going to share with you the top 10 income producing activities for network marketers. Let's go. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 9, number 10. And if you guys want access to this whole entire document and just have it scrolling in the background, I've made an entire PDF document that you guys can have access to. I've got a link in my bio. Just click the link on my bio and then click income producing activities, and you'll be able to download the document just like that. That's it. Now you got a reel. So what I would do is that reel might be 60 seconds or less. So again, 2.5 hour training, 1 hour consolidation, 30 minutes, a better consolidation, 10 minutes, the genius consolidation, 60 seconds is still consolidating the main points with a hook to generate leads, to be able to get stuff for your business, right? Now, how would I do this in stories? I would not do this in stories, however. In stories are a little bit more flexible, where I'm not going to create 10 reels, each with its own income producing activity. But with stories, I would. With stories, I would actually spend like 10 seconds per income producing activity, or at least 5 seconds per income producing activity. I'm either I'm going to give them enough that they can take a screenshot. So my goal might be, okay, I might even tell them, hey, screenshot each one of these. And I might put enough information on the screenshot that they could simply go through and screenshot each one, right? So just like that, 10 that they take screenshots. Or if it's me talking, I don't want them to take a screenshot. So if it's me talking, I'll just say, pay attention to the next 10 slides. So I'll have the text on. So it'll be like, number 1 will be this topic. And then I'm spending 10, 15 seconds summarizing what I learned from Chris. So let's say number 3 was Instagram stories. and you're targeting for network marketers, what I would do is say something like this. So this would be number 3, right? So all right, that brings us to number 3, which is Instagram stories, but not like Instagram stories like you think. I'm actually talking about story sequences. These actually provide value. So if you guys are actually interested, stay to the end because I'm going to show you a document that'll show you how to put together a 5-story sequence that creates a bunch of value. It builds what's called the KLT factor with your existing audience. And it's going to make every single person want to DM you saying, please, please, please send me the PDF. So stay to the end and I'll show you guys exactly how to do that. But story sequences is where it's at. Done. So what I'm doing is I'm essentially explaining income producing activity number 3, story sequences. I'm hooking them to stay to the end. So I'm increasing my watch time. I'm hooking them to pay attention because there's value being given. And I've got something at the end that is going to be valuable for them. So at the end, I'll say, okay, now we talked about out of all these activities, I can't dive into them all. So we talked about story sequences. I actually put together a little PDF document right here, which explains, I actually took notes from a recent training and it explains and gives tons of examples of how you can actually create story sequences. In fact, right now, you're watching a story sequence. So if you guys are interested in learning how to create these for your business, they're highly effective. They get you a ton of leads. I've actually put together a PDF showing you exactly how. Just shoot me a DM and I'll do that. Do you see what I'm saying? You're using the product you're teaching people to use that they can use for real estates, for anything. It's bridge marketing. And then they're going to get that from you. Now you're getting the lead. And now you're able to get them interested and say, hey, this is all stuff that I'm learning from this guy, Chris Record, because I'm part of his inner circle. I'm part of this community. I'm part of this private mentoring group that he has. We meet up every single day, 5 days a week. If we can't attend live, we watch the tree plays. He's got over 1,000 hours worth of training. I mean, he's one of the best guys out there. He's done over 8 figures online. So yeah, I'm just learning all this stuff. One of him. It's just $100 a month. So you've got the lead in. Does this make sense? Sorry, the chat is getting distracted by Kyle Steven. It looks like he did an image of exactly, literally, was it just exactly what I said to do? Did Kyle do one that was just exactly what I said to do? What is this thing? Look at this. In real time, you guys. Oh yeah, in real time. Is this all pretty much exactly what I said? Yeah, except I said she was looking at like social media, but it looks like, oh, she's taking a video of the city. So this is what I'm talking about. But I would say the sizing, I would have done the sizing differently. I would have gone and told them. But this is my point. This stuff is done in real time. You see what I'm saying? I just described this out loud. So you understand how ebooks could be made, right? I would have done this with more of a thumbnail perspective, 16:9, probably. And you guys might be thinking this is a good image, but if you were to talk to Kyle, who created it, Kyle would tell you this is not a good image. It's literally just a good prompt. Kyle could create 10 more of these. It's not like Kyle worked for a month on this. You know, he's not going to sit there and be like, oh my God, this is the image of the year. It's like, no, he just in seconds, in a minute, he typed in a prompt and got a picture. So you guys got to get comfortable with the fact that you have access to all this. So what I'm saying is I would use AI. I would create a ebook cover. I would create my 5 or my 10 things, and I would have that as a PDF. And then what I would do is I would say, give me your email address and I'll send you the PDF. Now, for bonus points, does anybody know what link I send them to download the PDF? Come on, bonus points. I have this PDF, whatever this PDF is, 10 income producing activities for network marketers. What link do I send them where they get the PDF? Google Docs. Nope. Keep going. I mean, these Google Docs could work. All these, you guys are not going to say wrong answers. I'm just going to tell you which one I would send them to. What would I send them to? I got their email address. I'm gonna email them. I'm not gonna attach the PDF to an email, bro. No. They DM'd me their email address. I am now gonna send them the PDF. There's a few of you got it right already. I'm just getting everybody thinking really quick. So the answer is a video funnel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if you create a video funnel, which is the product we all have access to, when you create a video funnel, you have the option to be able to put a PDF in there. So I would use video funnels to deliver the PDF. And I would likely either take a clip of one of Chris Record sharing something about it, or if you're feeling gutsy, actually hit record and practice recording something yourself. It's not the hardest thing in the world. But yeah, it'd be a video funnel page. To be fair, most of you got it right. So how do you get it in? How do you get it into a shareable link? I mean, I would just put it into, I would personally just put it in a Google Docs. There's a bunch of ways to do it. You guys don't need me to tell you, but what I would do is I would put it into Google Docs and I would just either share the Google Docs. I would create a share link with the Google Doc. That's what I did with like 101 ways to advertise. I'd either create a share link with the Google Doc, or you can actually create a PDF from the Google Doc. But there's a lot of file sharing services, right? So for example, I would probably create the document in Google Docs. That's number one. But I might export it as a PDF and then upload it to like Google Drive or Dropbox. I might do that. If you have your own website, your own hosting, you can do it there. I haven't used High Level for hosting, JHL Media, but I have no reason to believe you couldn't just do that. You know, if you have your own website on High Level, just to be able to use the media there and just upload the PDF, and then you're gonna get a shareable link. I just haven't done it, but there's no reason to believe that wouldn't just be super simple if you already got High Level. But these are all there's a lot. But you guys get my point. There's a lot of ways to do it. I'm very simple. I create stuff in Google Docs. Michael Pendleton says, all my friends are entrepreneurs. I'm a marketer, and that's valuable real estate. So, Michael, for example, what I would do is, let me ask you guys a question. I had a different thing that I wanted to kind of do today, and we definitely went the story route. If you guys didn't figure that out by now. I'm kind of in a training vibe right now. I kind of don't want to end, but we have been going for 2 hours, but I ended last time I ended so abruptly. I forgot, you guys, I forgot that I had another meeting that I was late for. And so I had somebody come over right at the time, and I was like, oh my God, I'm right in the middle of everything. So it was just like, I'm apologizing. Not that you guys, I had already gone over 2 hours, but yeah, on the last session on Friday, I just abruptly ended. Why don't we do this? Let's do some reviews. Let's spend the rest of the session doing some reviews. Because I don't want to start I wanted to do some of the more basic stuff for IIS right now today, but let's just keep it what it is. This is really, really good. Let's do some reviews. Yeah, Dan is you're like, peace out. I ended so abruptly, Dan. That was funny. But let's do some reviews. If anybody has a Facebook profile, a social media profile that you want me to review, if you would like some feedback, if you think if you think that you're doing something, if you're doing nothing, then whatever. But if you want to show me your personal brand, or your faceless brand. Who did I just say a minute ago? Whose name did I say a minute ago? I said somebody's name. I feel like it was Michael or something. And it made me think of this. I forget who it was. It was, I'm going to look through the chat really quick. I'm going to look through the Zoom. I forgot. I lost my train of thought. Was it Michael? Michael Pendleton, I think is what I said. But I forget why I brought your name up. Okay, Chris S says, I wouldn't mind being destroyed in front of everyone. Sorry, I don't know if that was supposed to read that. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Michael Pendleton to everyone. All my friends are entrepreneurs. I'm a marketer, and that's valuable real estate. Thank you for helping me bring back on. Yeah. So Michael, if you have Michael Pendleton, if you have a profile that you want me to review for you, if all your friends are marketers, you want me to kind of give you some feedback, I'll give you first dibs. Otherwise, I'm going to go to Chris S. So if Michael Pendleton gets back to me fast enough, I'll give him first dibs. Second dibs, I'm going to give Chris S. After that, you guys just throw me some profiles if somebody wants to get some reviews, and we'll spend some time doing some reviews. And if you guys need to jump off, just jump off. While I'm waiting for Michael to answer back, let me see questions here. How do you link in profile for stories offering different PDFs? Well, you don't have to link. I mean, every platform's different, right? So if you're asking people to DM you, you don't have to have any link in your profile. So Facebook, for example, you don't really need a link in the bio in Facebook. That's not really going to help. A link in the bio is going to be more effective on somewhere like TikTok. Instagram, DM, Facebook, DM. So Facebook and Instagram, you could pretty much just have any infinite amount of bridge marketing. But for TikTok, you would do it there. Now, what I would do is I'd probably just use a link tree for that. So you'd go to high level and you'd create a link tree. Hopefully that answered your question. All right, we do have, what is, Eamon says, check my rap. Oh no, did you make a rap about like Atlas or something? All right, oh, Michael Pendleton. Okay, we're gonna start going, you guys. We'll start with Michael Pendleton Sr. Michael Pendleton Sr. All right, let's get going. Let's go into the review zone real quick, and I'll jump back in with you guys. Hold on, let me shrink this. Let me shrink the chat really quick. Okay, Michael Pendleton, you're up first. And let me share. Yeah, let's have some fun. Let's just hang out. No pressure. Okay, so first up, we got Michael Pendleton. So first things first, I like the colors. I like the yellow with the black on it. So right off the bat, I like the minimalist vibe right here. Michael Pendleton, the motivated marketer. The motivated marketer. I mean, it's okay. It's a play on words, so I'm not mad at it. I don't know what it means, but it's still kind of cool because you got M. Michael Pendleton, a picture of you. I think we could, Michael, you could improve the picture. I do see that you can improve these pictures. The quality of the pictures could pop off a little bit more. Because it's like this, like, okay, I was talking with somebody about this the other day in Vegas. So we were driving by and we saw these billboards, and these billboards are like lawyers, big law firms and, accident, injury attorneys, whatever. And they all have like their face up on the billboards, right? But if you look, it's like the most professional picture ever. And the thing is, like, obviously that's going to be seen by a lot of people. And so you look at that and it's like, we can create the most professional pictures ever now just with AI really easy. So I would say take advantage of that. I like these foldovers. I don't know what all is going on here, but I like it. It's pretty cool. Click here. Might as well click and see what he says. Hello. Okay, hold on. I kind of liked where you were going with this. It looked like you're getting ready to tell a story. Oh, you almost had me, bro. You almost had me. Okay. This said click here. I clicked. Hello, I'm Michael Pendleton. And I was like, oh, dope. I'm gonna get to learn about his story. But then he went into a pitch instead. So here's the thing, Michael, is next time whenever you update your cover photo, look, focus. Here's the thing. Don't worry so much about pitching. Like, don't drop a link here. Like, take this link out. Like next time you do this, try this instead. Just hear me out. Try this instead. Be personable. Tell me an actual story about yourself. I want to learn about, in order for me to buy from you, I want to know you, like you, and trust you. And I've just found out about you. I'm not going to click this. This looks like it's going to be like, virus. It's going to put a virus on my computer. Okay. Anyways, instead, tell me something. Like Michael in the chat right now, just curious in the chat. Is there anything, was your story that you just grew up rich and that you just had a bunch of money handed to you? So you had like 10 million that you started with, and then you were able to flip that 10 million to 11 million. That's pretty much your story. My guess is that's your story, right? Your dad handed you 10 million and you were successfully able to you have 9 million left. Okay. So, like, that's your story, right? And if that's not your story, Like, what a great opportunity to be able to learn something about you here. So you guys keep that in mind. And also, there's two good opportunities to be able to share your story. Here on your cover photo, and also even really good here on your personal profile picture. Now, let's talk about this personal profile picture. Oh, okay, two problems we got going on here. One, what we were just saying, what a great opportunity, because the algorithms love profile pictures, right? Number one, where you lost opportunity. This is just a missing opportunity, but you're a marketer and you're missing an opportunity right here, because profile pictures are, when you're all over the web, right? Profile pictures are basically what people see. Second, what are you doing way down here on the bottom left-hand corner of your profile picture? I'm not fully sure I understand this, right? What are you doing way down here? Like a little turtle popping his head out of the shell. Okay? Like, come on. We need you. We need you. What are you doing? So what I would do is you don't have to do it today, but what I would do is I would start the process of getting ready to put together a new profile picture. Okay? That's what I would do. I would say, okay, it's time for a new profile picture, and let's use something we taught. Let me see if I can do it here. Share screen. Let's share Canva. Okay. So let's see. Upload files. Michael P. Boom. Okay. So Michael, is this sharing? Let me see. Yeah. All right. So Michael, let's just look. Let's just grab this real quick. Just look. I'm right in Canva. Okay. So here's your profile picture, right? So just like this, right off the bat, there's a few things we could do with it. Okay. There's a few things we could do. I don't even know where to get started, to be honest. But right off the bat, I would say probably one of the things that we could do is get you centered in it. That alone, just that right there already. All I did was I just stretched the picture up. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all I did was I just stretched this picture up. See the original? Look, the original there. Just took it and said, let's just make this in the square. Okay. So if that's all I did right there, that already, to me, I'm getting you. Now, this is just in Canva. This is just for free. We're not doing anything yet in Canva. But if we wanted to, we could also go and we could edit the photo. There's other things that we could do. Now, if you had Canva Pro, you could remove the background and see what that would look like. Okay, that's pretty clean. Removing a background, I kind of like it. And I wonder what it would look like. Let's look at it. Just curious. I wonder what would happen if we threw in like a different background. This if you had Canva Pro though. Let's just throw in a background, whatever. Position that to the back. Ooh, popping. So anyways, we can mess around for days. I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna mess around, but there's just all these different things that you could do. Oh, look at him, just hanging with him. We're just having some fun right now. I'm just quickly messing with this. I'm just playing with it real quick. Ooh, that's looking hot. Hold on. Oh, put a glow behind him. Okay, Michael P. Michael P with the swag. Anyways, we're just having some fun, right? So I would say, I'm not saying this should be your profile picture, by the way. I'm just playing with you, but I'm not saying it shouldn't be. But I just made this right here with just free tools, right? This is just the free tools, right? But if I go here to download and I go to download right here, I'm going to call this Michael P Canva so we know where it's coming from. Michael P Canva. Okay. Now I'm going to have to probably stop sharing and share my screen again. Let's go back to Chrome. All right, Michael P Canva, where are you at? Right there. Okay, and then if I wanted to give it a little bit of a touch with AI, we could drag it in AI and see what AI would do with it in just a second. But that's the first piece of feedback I'd give is everybody should be thinking this way, is that if you're a marketer, this is only to the marketer. So here's the original image right there. That's the image off your profile that I already gave a little drop shadow behind. And this is what it looks like. Now the drop shadow is not really looking that dope. So what I might do is run this through again without the drop shadow behind it. But just gives an example. Let's run the original through. This is just the file straight off your Facebook. Right here. Straight off your Facebook. There you are. And there it is cleaned up. There you are, blurry, a little pixelated, colors missing. There you are. There you are. There you are. Right? So, you know, you can kind of see the, and then this is the auto color. Like we can mess with the different colors. We can mess with the background blur. You know, you can mess with the beauty. So you can mess with these different things and do a bunch of different runs and see if you find something even better. But there's these tools out there that can improve. So maybe you're like, oh, this one looks better, right? So we'll take this one. Call Michael P right there, download it. Downloads. And we're going to go back over to Canva real quick. And let me go up here. And let me duplicate this one. Now we're going to go and we're going to just take that newer one. AI enhanced. There we go. And so now what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of that car there in the background. Get rid of this a little bit. Put it maybe like that. Now we got you looking a little fly. Take you all the way down here. Boom. Ooh, even saucier. See now, look at this one. And that one was good a minute ago. But now look. Boom. Looking smooth. So what I'm saying is like right there, right? And then duplicate this. And if you got Pro, let's just see what the background remover looks after the AI. And then bam, that's what it looks like after the AI. So now let's look at all these, right? In fact, let's even look at the original too, just so we have some contrast here. This is the original. Okay. So let's look at these. The original right there. Quick Canva. Ran it through AI. And then AI plus Canva together like that. And if that's not your color, if you're like, yo, I don't do purples. Purple's not my thing. I mean, you could literally just come in here and you could just, what's your thing? Green, blue, pink, red, black. Do any of these, just colors. Do fades. All of this. Any of these things right here. One of these might suit you more. Okay? Got all these different options right here. Right? So you could always just choose any one of those or get another picture. Throw a different picture up there. So go to elements and let's throw, city. And let's go to photos. And let's throw, a city back here. Position to the back. There you go. Now you got a city back there. I don't know if I love this city, but we'll get it looking a little bit better, maybe. Something like that. You got the city back there. But anyways, you guys get the point, right? So you take this, and now you got a new profile picture. Okay. And now you can go in and you can basically now have a new post. And if you're going to have a new post, what I would probably do is something along the lines of, I'd probably do something along the lines of a story. Like I want to like what is something you could lure me in? Like, man, that's a cool story. That's a cool dude. Like a perfect example is like myself. Like I was born in a teepee, or maybe like some life lessons that you learn. Like maybe just drop some value on me here. That's like, all right, I gotta connect with this guy. Right? That's that opportunity. So I always start here. Okay. I always start here. Those are the two things that I always go. Let's add that as a friend. See if it lets it. All right. I sent you a friend request. All right. So I would ditch this link, my internet income system. I would ditch Now Site. Look, I would probably combine these links. I don't know. It's a lot going on here. No one's going to click these. So I would probably just try to figure out how I could deliver some value. Okay. So digital creator and online marketer, helping you unleash your business potential empowered by AI. Okay. So, and I saw AI here. All right. So if you're making the move with AI, then this stuff needs, then I would lead with AI for marketing. Okay. So right here, I would add to this that you've got something for free. Like tell them, link, click the link below for your free, whatever is free. And then this link down here should just be something for free. Like all of this is like, you know, I just want whatever the free thing is that's going to teach me AI. That's what you're going to want to start with. So you got stories. That's good. Let's see, 9 hours ago. Motivational quote, don't be afraid your life will end. Be afraid that it will never begin. Okay. So again, I'm not really vibing with this. If I'm being honest, there's nothing here that is making me know you, like you, or trust you anymore. Here's what I would do. Don't use this. Don't keep using this image over and over. I would say this is an opportunity to share new images. There's a few, so feedback on stories really quick. One, make your stories portrait mode. Okay, make your stories portrait mode. Make them the right size. Don't make them squares, make them portraits. You'll do better. It's better for the algorithm. Second is, you know, take some more pictures of yourself. You saw how easy it was just to run it through an AI tool and make it look good. Just take some more pictures of yourself. It's gonna be okay. Right. And as far as the quote, these are filler content. I don't mind if you're gonna do it, but just don't expect that it's really that valuable. So I would say work on a story sequence. I think would be even better. But you got the same thing here. So really, then I don't even understand the point of the story, because it's just the same thing as here. What's the point? The same people are going to see it here and in your story. So okay, I get it. A lot of people think that posting it to your story is going to get more attention to it. It really doesn't. You can post your story, that's fine, but that's not the purpose of stories. The same people are going to see this that are going to see that. So like, you know, maybe not the same, but like the way the algorithm works is not going to make that much of a difference for you. You don't need extra promotion of this, is what I'm saying. So you're better off using the stories for like some sort of value-based sequence. Okay. There we there's a good picture. What is this? Is this real, or is this film on? Is this, did you put yourself on a background? It's dope though. Okay. No, I don't understand what this is. It's looking weird. I'm going to skip it. I would say, don't do this. Sharpen my axe. Why is this not axe sharpening? Okay, this I'm lost. Abraham Lincoln once said, if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I would use the first 4 hours to sharpen my axe. Okay. Why not a picture of Abraham Lincoln with holding an axe? Hey, can someone in the chat make an AI image for this real quick? Abraham Lincoln, like add some dope stuff. Make it like Abraham Lincoln looking like a lumberjack, sharpening his axe with a tree in the background that he's in the middle of cutting down, you know, something like that. But you could add more to it. Okay, lifestyle. Man, you're this good looking and you're using that same little picture for the quotes? Jeez. All right. Yeah, bro. This is better. All right. Frame yourself. Don't stop putting yourself in the bottom of the picture. It makes you look short. Michael, how tall are you, by the way, Michael? I'm curious. How tall are you? How tall are you? 5'10"? Yeah, you're looking like 5'2" here. So frame yourself. Don't leave so much room above your head. You'll thank me for that one. The thing is though, that I'm not drawn in. You're not drawing me in to want to read this. So like, think of this as like the thumbnail. Like if you go to YouTube, the thumbnail is the first thing, right? This is good. This is a title. So thumbnail, title. I like that you're doing this in all caps like this, but you're not drawing me into it because this is not appealing enough for me right here. But I do like that you're trying to give value here though. Okay, for example, right here you say documentation always beats conversation. Okay, then show some documentation. Why not show something that draws me in? Right? Okay, so if this is like your ending punchline, I don't know. If this is your ending punchline, I would basically I would lead with some documentation, then lead with some proof of something. I would ditch this theme because you got more to it. Ditch this. Nah. No, no, no. All right, listen. This right here this does not make sense. Okay, so I'm going to make some assumptions here. I'm going to assume you're an Herbalife distributor and that now site must be, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm reading here, but no, don't do this. This doesn't look valuable. I don't understand what's going on. It doesn't look valuable. There's no persuasion or convincing or anything. I'm not even sure. It's like stuck between the world of value and the world of pitch. I wouldn't do that. Frame yourself. I like that you're taking a picture of yourself though. I mean, look, I would say picture of you plus this big. Look, here's what I like, Michael. I treat this like a thumbnail and a tagline, a thumbnail and a title. Thumbnail, title, teaser, treasure. So if you write those down, if you take notes, thumbnail, title, teaser, treasure. Thumbnail is an image that catches your attention. Title is the main title. I don't mind you putting in all caps. Then teaser. Immediately hook them in. Hook them in. Say something. Drag me into this. Stop. I need to stop scrolling. Immediately give me a teaser. Drag me into something. Say something that's crazy, shocking, exciting, a result. Then treasure. Give me the value. Give me the solution. Give me the game. Smooth. A power couple is an indestructible force. Love it. But this is more of an influencer post, right? Less of a value post, but I like it. Kind of like, hey, if you're going to post a picture, might as well drop power couple in there. I like that. What is this? No. Not feeling whatever's going on here. Not feeling it. Jeez. No. What is this? Bro, it should not, look, stuff should not be this hard. Point, click, welcome to the future. So the first and only tool to make sure every selfie comes with a perfect caption. So I'm so confused. Okay, listen. I'm going to make an assumption here, which I could be wrong. This must be some affiliate. You either created a tool or you're promoting a tool as an affiliate. I don't even get what's going on here. But don't do this kind of stuff. Like, stop this right here. Michael Pendleton, look, stop this. Don't tell people to say me in the comments. Say me for the Zoom. Don't do that. Okay, this needs to be in your stories. And today's Zoom is for you, bro. Like, you need to lead into this more. Create a story. Don't put this as a post. Same with this Herbalife thing. Like, no, don't put this as a post. Do a story sequence. Use yourself. If it's you talking, people pay attention. And then same with this. Make this a story sequence. But don't do it here. This is just killing your algorithm. Yeah, you're just beating down the algorithm. You're going to hurt your other posts. Okay. I'm not going to spend too much more time here. Okay. I've seen some of you guys do this right here too. Fake accounts. Okay. Post this in stories. You want this to disappear. This is your real estate right here. You don't want to give real estate attention to some fake account of you. Okay. Put that stuff in your stories. No. Just pitch. No. You could do a better quote with AI. Eric AI. I'm just not like, what I would improve is the value. I would improve the buildup. This is fine. This is hype, right? 60,000 for Bitcoin. I get capitalizing on the hype, but I would do it if I was going to take my real estate and dedicate it to Bitcoin for my daily post. I would probably want to create some sort of massive interact. I would be thinking like, how can I get hundreds of comments, right? So maybe I'll post something more like controversial, or maybe if I want to post about this, I would say like, hey, I would maybe get people guessing, like, I would get people guessing like what ATH do you think it's going to hit? Like before, obviously it's going to drop back down. Before it drops back down, what ATH do you think is going to hit? Put your guesses below. We'll see who gets the closest. Now you're going to get a bunch of guesses. Now, what is this? Michael, can we make one agreement? You're not going to do this again? What is this? Yo, can I talk to you guys real quick about this? Can we all make an agreement right now? Don't use @followers. Don't tag @everyone @followers. Can we all make an agreement? Don't do that. Nobody likes it. Yo, nobody likes it. It's ineffective. It doesn't work, and nobody likes it. So just there's no example somebody's going to show me that they got more engagement because of it. I could show you countless examples of people getting less engagement. So anyways, Michael, unless you had any quick questions, something like that, I'm done with that. May you speak. Oh, Michael trying to get in here and defend himself. I don't know, Michael. That's usually I don't know about it. You gotta turn your camera on if you want to speak. Michael, you gotta turn on the camera. You got 2 accounts logged in. You got to turn on the camera if you want to say something. Okay, I see a camera on. Okay, I asked you to unmute. Do you see it?
I'm looking a little crazy. That's why I didn't turn the camera on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're not looking crazy, man. You're looking good. Hey, does anybody in the chat think he's looking crazy, or you guys think he's looking good? I'm thinking you're looking better than probably 95% of the people in here would say they're looking crazy compared to you right now.
What I wanted to tell you is, so I've been with the same company with Downside for 8 years. Most of my followers know that. That one picture, that's just my Monday motivation. That's why you keep seeing that same picture. So every Monday I use that same template in Canva and just put a different motivation there. But I'm not with Herbalife, but they partnered with us. So most people know what I do. So, you're guessing because you don't know me. And I understand, because people that don't know me won't understand what I'm doing. But the most people that come in, they reach out to me. If they don't know what I do, they reach out and say, hey, what was that about? So that's all. But I appreciate, if you refresh now, I have put a story next to that picture now. I did it on my other.
All right, okay. A couple. Let's have a little conversation, candid conversation about it. All right. Here's my. By the way, you don't have to follow any of my feedback. I'm not like.
Oh, no. I like your feedback.
Yeah,
I wanted your feedback.
It's just ideas. Okay. It's just ideas. At the end of the day, it's just, I dive in and see what I come up with. All right. So first things first, if you're doing Monday motivation, yo, you got a studio, you got a camera, you got a microphone. Is there any way you could do it on video instead of a picture quote?
Absolutely.
You would kill it. You would crush it. I would do Monday motivation. I do like my Preacher Chris stuff. I would do Monday motivation. I would get into something like that. I think you'll do far better. Mm-hmm. Maybe in the beginning, it'll take some time for people to get used to it, but I think overall it has a lot more potential. And it'll give you some practice. Second is, you said people already know what you do. So what I would do is I would come in with a different frame of mind. I would say people in my stories are one group, but people in my public profile, which I was able to see everything without even being your friend. That's what you're trying to grow. So I would create content on your public, visible, on all anywhere that's public and visible, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I would create content for people that don't know you. You don't necessarily want to assume people know you. You never want to have that assumption because you always want to be thinking growth. Like, don't get me wrong. Wouldn't you rather have 10 times more followers than you currently have?
Absolutely.
Right, because you're a marketer and marketers would rather have more followers, especially if they're good quality people. So you always want to be reintroducing yourself, kind of always making sense of things for people. Just keep that in mind because it's not just me. You should, if you're really growing and building, you should always have new people like me you don't want them to be confused or lost. You want them to immediately be like, all right, I'm learning about this guy. I'm learning his story. I see here. I love the power couple thing, by the way. It seems like if you and your wife got pictures, I think, man, more men should do this.
Whenever I put a picture of me and my wife up, I get tons of likes. So I'm like, damn, girl.
Yeah. We already know who's getting the likes, right?
Yeah,
It's not us men. It's not us men. But yeah, I like the power couple.
Start doing stories. I like what you said. Just like walking her to her car every morning before she goes to work, and then me going to the gym, and just things like that. I like that. But I wanted to ask you, how do you? A story's only 20 seconds. So when that guy did that video, did he chop? I mean, he took little videos? Did he load them all at the same time? Or did he load one at a time? Or
just one at a time? Like look, for someone like you, again, the advice for everybody listening, you guys can't all do what Michael Pendleton does. He's a marketer who doesn't mind branding himself. Okay. That's 10% of you. Okay. So just keep everybody else just listen. But Michael, for you, I would say practice for like a week by just sharing parts of your day, one video at a time. Don't even, the story sequences you can go into, but I would say just start with something simple, like 5-6 times throughout the day, share something that's going on. Morning walk with the wife, go to the gym, maybe sit in front of your computer right here. Could be some morning motivation. Maybe a little piece of value. You go, hey, in my DM right now, someone just hit me with this question. Here's what I said to them. Maybe you guys can learn something. You're sharing something that's valuable in your day with your audience. You're like, hey, my audience is entrepreneurs. I want them to see my stories. I want them to click. I want them to watch. I want them to get to see me in my natural habitat, who I am, and they'll like you. Trust me, your KLT factor will go up if you start using stories. I promise you.
Cool.
Start there. And then story sequences are more advanced. You got to kind of think, those you got to think about. Like, all right, if I'm going to do like 5 stories in a row that make a point, you might even take some notes and think that might be like your little project. I'm going to spend half an hour on a little project right now to post this. That's different. But you post them all one at a time. When you're watching these people's stories, they're just filming a story and then they're pressing stop. And then they're like, oh, I got more to say. So they film another story. You don't want to get in the habit though of doing long form content in your stories. You got a lot to say. Don't say it all in the stories. Save it for YouTube or be like, hey, this Monday, you can tell people, hey, every Monday at 9 a.m., I go live on my Facebook for Monday Motivation. So I'm going to go in deep on this topic. If you guys like what I'm saying right now, I'm just giving you a little piece of it. This Monday, I'm going to go deep on it. Join me 9 a.m. on my profile. You guys will be able to watch with me. You can save it for somewhere. Stories need to be a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Any other questions?
No, that's about it.
All right. I appreciate it. Hey, good job. You got a good brand. I think you could really turn it up.
Thank you.
And we're glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
All right. Thanks, Michael.
All
right. Let's remove. Man, Michael thought he wasn't looking good there. You guys, someone needs to let Michael know he's looking just fine. Let me answer some of these questions. Chris, do you think that the algorithm favors no links in bio versus links in bio? The algorithms never favor linking anybody off site. The algorithms are never going to want you to link. The algorithms favor time on site. So the algorithms favor profiles that keep you on the site more. Should we post family stuff on a business page too for the KLT factor? What? Should we post family stuff on a biz page? This is from Keith. Keith, you're gonna have to dive in deeper. I don't know what you mean by a biz page, but no, my general answer would be no, unless the business is literally just you again. Like if the business is like Chris Record, it's just a business page, but it's still Chris Record, then sure, I should post things about Chris Record. But if the business is like, you know, my company name or something, then I don't know. You don't need all that. Chris, in your talking head avatar 1K follower video, which video are you referring to when you tell the viewers to click below to watch the video on how to do it? I don't know what, Robert, I don't know what sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see. Okay, we got some more constructive feedback, maybe move to another person really quick. Robert says the video and the training on how to get 1K followers for a penny. Man, it's just a tough question you're asking me. On the video, you're talking about how to get 1K followers for a penny. What training did I reference? Maybe somebody else in the chat can help you because I don't even remember that video, to be honest. All right. I'm going to go to Demaria, and then Chris S. Chris, I need to get to you, but I already clicked on another one. So Chris, I'll get back to you. Chris, I said Chris is second. I lied. All right. Demaria, then Chris. Is it Demaria? Which one is it? 1, Demaria, 2, Demaria. Tell me, is it 1 or 2? Demaria, or 3? I didn't get any of it right. None. I knew it. Jeez. Why do you guys put me on the spot? It's embarrassing. Okay. Here we are. Can you tell me how can I figure out how to pronounce your name right? Does it have one of these pronunciation things on here? Do you have one of those things that shows how to pronounce your name? Where's one of those things? I don't know where they are, but sometimes it shows how to pronounce your name. Jeez, I'm butchering it so hard now. Maria. Is that closer? Give me a 1 if I got it. Maria. Almost. God. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll make up for it by confirming this friend request right here. Are we good now? Are we on the same page? All right. So let's go through. Let's see what we got here. All right. You got the little characters. Mindset and persistence. Focus. Wi-Fi preneur 8x /8x. Missed opportunity there. This is cool though. Power of AI in Canva. But what is the power of AI in Canva? There's nothing here. If you missed the zoom on stories, oh my. All right. So even this is, we'll talk about that really quick. Let me go back. Talk about this. This is okay. This is kind of a little bit more real life. You know, you're filming things as they really happen, but there's nothing here. The photo's not the best and the caption's not the best. Now, granted, you're doing it in real time, so there's not a lot you're going to be able to do with the photo. But what I would have done if I was going to do this is I would not have done a photo. I would have done a quick video and recorded like a little piece of it, right? I would have recorded a little like 10 seconds of me saying something. And if in those 10 seconds, if I didn't say something good, I would have stopped. Here, let me come back to this. Okay, so it's going to look something like this, right? So you got your app up, you know, whatever. Okay, so I got it up, right? I'm gonna switch this so it films outside. All right, so I'm a viewer, right? I'm a viewer watching. So anyways, Chris Record is talking about some things and he's right there on screen and he's animated and he's motivated and he's talking and you're kind of filming a little bit like this. Anyways, Chris Record is talking about some things and he's right there on screen and he's animated and he's motivated and he's talking and you're kind of filming a little bit like this. So anyways, Chris Record is talking about some things and he's right there on screen and he's so that would be, to me, better because you got some movement. You still got the similar thumbnail. It's a picture, but there's more life to it. And you can add a filter to it. It's going to look a little bit better. Now, if during those 10 seconds that you're like, okay, I'm going to film, it's going good. And then during those 10 seconds, if it's not that good, then just cancel, right? On Instagram, when I use the Instagram one, just go up here to the top left and hit the X. Or if you like it, maybe you're going to use it, hit save. But I'll usually just like do something like that. But the big thing is, I saw you said my laziness. The big thing is this. This is the big lesson. Don't be lazy. I mean, lazy is not going to get you paid, right? Don't be lazy. Instead, it's a split second of more energy that makes the difference. That actually makes things work, right? So what I would do is I would do a little video like this. Then now for the caption, let's go back to the caption and let's look and see what you wrote. Okay, the caption says, if you missed this Zoom on stories, oh my. But that doesn't really, that doesn't hook me, right? So why me as a follower? Why do I care about this? Like maybe I don't know the guy. There's just a picture of some dude, some white dude in a white hat and a blue shirt, right? With an eagle or falcon behind him. I don't know who this guy is, okay? And I don't know what a Zoom on stories is. Is he just telling stories of his life? Is he just, you got to understand, right? Context is everything. If you gave this some context, so first of all, if you recorded it, you would have a little piece of it they'd be able to listen to a little piece. Now they're a fly in the room. They're a fly on the wall. They're listening into a little bit of the training, right? And so that would have been a little bit better because now they're getting some context. And then you add the missing context, which is you'd say something like, Chris Record is live on Zoom right now, dropping game on how to get massive views on your stories. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that now you're sharing a result. Like if the idea is like, okay, what's something that people maybe want? They want to get more views. So you might say like, hey, do you want to know how to triple the views on all of your Facebook stories and Facebook and Instagram stories? And then put next story, tap for the next story. And then so first you show me, and next story, you're just like right here. You kind of just turn me down the background. Now you film yourself. You're like, hey, I'm watching Chris Record right now, drop-in game. If you guys want, I just took notes. I got this page full of notes. Check this out. I got this page full of notes. Hey, if you guys want this, just DM me stories. DM me the word stories, and I'll drop you all these notes right here. This is fantastic. You guys are gonna love this. There you go. Something like that. There's all these like little ways where you can make something more interesting. And now it's like drawing people in. It's hooking people in. Look, you can already agree. It's got some weird filter on it. It's standing out, Do you see what I'm saying? It's all like, there's just more ways to do things that are a little bit more effective. Let's because it's already this late, we've only got 8 minutes left. Let's jump over to Chris S. Chris S, can you drop your profile link again? Okay. All right, let's go. I'm going to share these real quick. I clicked on a few people's. So we're going to see if I can rapidly share some of these. Let's go to Chris. Start with Chris. Okay. This should be you, Chris. Okay. So right off the bat, the beach lifestyle. I like this. This kind of gives me an idea of who you are. I do think that AI touch-up would do justice for this. I think AI touch-ups. I think right off the bat, look, the big thing a lot of you guys need to learn is just these AI touch-ups. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many tools. Like there's so many tools. There's apps on your phone that are just free. When I first started using this tool, I just used the free version. I didn't pay for it until I had already done like 30 photos. There was just ads. I just was annoyed at the ads, so I bought it. But I was just using the free version. But there's tons of tools that just have like free versions. There's no excuse, especially for one, because you could just like, look, first image, there's the original. And right off the bat, there's that. But even if we want to like make it look a little bit more realistic or whatever, just playing with some of these real quick. Even if we want to make it look more realistic, but just in seconds, you can already see how much better this stuff is looking, right? Sorry, it's not loading. There you go. Alrighty, that looks really realistic, right? So there's the original, and there it is, right? So you can already just see how blurry it is, and then just right off the bat, it's just fixing it. It doesn't mean it's like, it's just fixing it. So it's just cleaner. Do you know what I'm saying? And it blurred the background out a little bit. So it's just really easily this, if you're going to do it, my point is you might as well. Wait, there's Michael's. Hold on, let me go back to where you are. Okay. Yeah. If you're going to do it, you might as well. Okay. So I would say that's the first thing. Let's confirm this. Okay. Let's see. Dream chaser, singer, entrepreneur, team builder. All right. That's 4 different things. A little confused. CEO at Contact the Beach Lifestyle Rocks. You're putting a website with no website link. So no one's gonna click this. What do they have to do? Copy it and then paste it. All right. Contact the Beach Lifestyle Rocks. What is the beach lifestyle? What is this? Is your username, is your affiliate name user? Wait, why am I so confused at this kind of stuff? Yo, Chris, you out there? Is your affiliate name user? Yes? Okay. Chris, this isn't a Facebook review, man. This is a brand review. Bro, what are you? Is this beach lifestyle? Is the brand beach lifestyle? Like, are you going for like are you going for kind of like the beach entrepreneur? Are you going for like are you appealing to people that are like into the beach lifestyle, that want to be able to enjoy beaches, that want to be able to enjoy those kind of things? So the idea is you trade your profession for something like this so that you can live the beach lifestyle. That to me feels like the brand you're going for. But then I'm confused. There's other stuff. First of all, the username user, bro, that's just, nah, I would change that. Like, what are you, so he's like, so what are you gonna, what's the point of the word user? I don't even understand. It's not on brand. It's not on anything. It's just a weird word. I would ditch. Is it like, I would rather go like beach lifestyle, or the word lifestyle or beach, or something to do with brand. But the word user just seems really, really weird. I can't imagine any benefit of the word user. But second is, what is your brand? Are you a singer? What kind of singing? Let's do something with your brand. Let's get you popping somewhere. But if you can't figure out your brand, then it's first I got to figure that out if I'm going to help you. We got to figure out what you're trying to do with your brand. Okay, so let's start there. If you could tell me in the chat, I got chat open. I'm waiting for you. If you could tell me in the chat, I know you're on direct message, but you're just linking them to a sales page. There's nothing beach here. Don't link them to the sales page. How do we get here? Oh, we got here from a link tree. Okay, so you got a page like this. I don't see the effectiveness of this. What I would do is I would just create a page. I would just create a video funnel. This link tree is not necessary, right? Because there's no multiple things that you're having to share here. I would probably just create a video funnel or create a better link tree, but this should not go to the internet income system. You guys should not be directly linking. You should be linking to a video funnel. The whole reason of video funnels is that, look, if you guys are linking directly to internet income system, you're probably not making any sales. And if you're making sales, you're probably just pitching. And so you're going to make some short-term sales. Those people are likely just going to quit and they're going to jump to other opportunities because you're just pitching them probably on 100% commission. So they're just trying it out for a month. It doesn't work and they quit and they join something else, in which case you have to keep promoting them a different opportunity every week. Right. And that's just the marketing I hate. So I teach against it. Like, I honestly hate that marketing. I don't use the word hate very often, but I don't like it. So what I would do, first information, Chris, is what I would do is I would say, if you're targeting people that want the beach lifestyle, then this is your bridge page here for the beach lifestyle. Don't link directly to an income system. No one's going to join that. And no one's going to copy and paste this like I did. And team builder and dream chaser, these are generic words that don't mean anything. So I would come up with a better intro that actually summarized a little bit more about you. Let's see a little bit of your content real quick. On this entrepreneurial journey, you're going to want to quit often because it gets hard. Okay. Not mad at this. Fine. No. What is this? Wow, that Zoom was worth 10K a month. In my mind, if you're lacking results, say hook me up. No. I would just delete this. Where's the delete button? Delete. To your profile. I would delete this. This is, I'm not sure what you're expecting from something like this, but this is not like my feedback would be this. Wednesday, March 6th. Okay. You want to get in the point where you start treating your posts, your daily Facebook post is your golden opportunity to feed the algorithm, to be able to get engagement, to be able to utilize your real estate for the day, right? So on March 6th at 6:12 p.m., on Wednesday, March 6th, you utilized your real estate for this, but it was like, wow, that Zoom was worth 10K a month. My mind blown. If you're lacking results, say hook me up in the comments. But like, lacking results in what? Like, this isn't bridge marketing. It's not targeting an audience. There's no explanation of what the Zoom was. There's no explanation about what anything was about. No one's going to say hook me up in the comments. You don't want people to say hook me up in the comments. That's not going to feed the algorithm. You want, if you're going to get people engaging in the comments, give them something to engage about. But what I would say is, like, this is, if anybody's watching right now, don't do posts like this, because you're wasting your valuable real estate. Every day you have this real estate that says my Facebook account has this ability to do a daily post to be able to maximize the algorithm. So what am I going to do for today? What is my plan? What can I post? What I would say is, if you're a beach entrepreneur or whatever, I would say first and foremost is start putting together a catalog of pictures of yourself at the beach, but I would say, okay, don't tell me that something was worth 10K. I don't care. You know what I want to know? Why? What was on here? What was on here that was worth 10,000? Now, don't tell me I got to do something like this to find out. No, you got to hook me first. Hook me before I do this. Give me some understanding as to, okay, for example, let's just say it was something more like this, right? So say like, I just attended a Zoom for $5 that I would have easily paid $5,000 for, okay? Or I would have easily paid $500 for. Here's my top 5 takeaways from today's Zoom. Something like that. If you're trying to be ambiguous, and then I wouldn't make this as a picture or whatever. And if I did, I put the comments down here, but I would just make this as a post, just like this, top 5, right? But that's if you're trying to be ambiguous, but instead I would still go with something a little bit more like this. I'd say something more like this, like, how to get 5 times more views on your FB and IG stories, so something like that. And then boom, let's just kind of like something like this, I just I just watched a 3-hour Zoom from a marketer who has generated millions of views from stories. And here are my top 5 takeaways in my notes. Now, so let's go here and go. Number 1, story segments. Okay. And then what I would do is I put all 5 if we're going to number 2, whatever else was talked about, retention versus acquisition. Number 3, whatever your notes are. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what all your notes were. So, but what I would do is I would go like that. And then for each one of these, I would basically say, so I would go, okay, story segments. And then I would go, this is where you're going to write all stuff about story segments. You see what I'm saying? Like, you write all that, then you go down. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're basically, and I might even make these just to stand out. Whatever my notes were, I mean, I would just be taking good notes. That's why I'm just freestyling to give you guys all the stuff you guys need, Number 3 would be like, thumbnail, thumbnails and hooks, whatever. So you just come up with like whatever the things I talked about, you just kind of summarize them here, and you're giving away game. So what happens is you're the hero, right? And then if you're going to do a picture, why not do a picture of like, do something like this, So grab your phone or whatever, and let's see if I could pull up like a story or something like that. Let's see. Okay, so we'll just do this one right here. So we'll do like this one right here, like this guy, right? So like I would just be like something like this. And then just
11.
and then just run that through an AI tool or through Canva, improve it just a little bit, and then boom. It's just like it's like make the image a little bit cleaner. You got value. You're good to go. You just created your post for the day, and that whole post is good for you anyways, because it's learn, do, teach, right? You're learning something, you're doing something, you're teaching something, and then also you could say, hey, if anybody has hey, if anybody's got any questions, you want to ask me about this, let me know below. And you're just learning to create value. You're learning to create value. That's what I'm gonna say. Let me go to a couple other people real quick, and then I'm gonna wrap up. We'll look at a couple other people's. Here's Jeannie Roy. I want to say, girl genius, genius. I like this image. I like this. Jeannie, you on with us? Jeannie, you out there? I clicked this from a while ago. You might not be on. Okay. Am I saying your name right? Yes or no? Yes or no? No, of course not. You want to give me pronunciation? Also, please tell me I'm not the first person to ever say your name wrong. Guinea? Janae? 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 Janae Roy? Am I closer? Janae? Janai? Janai? Okay, Janai. Okay. So, Janai. Okay. So I like this. I like the color scheme. I like all that. That's all good. Girl Genius Solution Strategist. Girl Genius Solution Strategist. I don't like this because I don't know what it means. Click the link to get free marketing tools. I don't like this because I don't know what, why not just be more specific? What marketing tools am I going to get? Like, give me like what I would rather see is just like, can you speak to me like I'm a fifth grader? Speak to me like I'm a fifth grader. Solutions for who? Like, this is a perfect opportunity for you to niche your market. And then why do I need free marketing tools? Just tell me a result that I'm going to get or whatever. Let's chat, book a call, 5-minute video, AI art masterclass, free tools. Next is Snap, free bank promo, Ingenious Solutions, B2B leads. Okay. So you're all over the place. I mean, personally, I would rather just give them one thing for free and get them on a list or get their email address, right? In exchange for something for free. And then you could promote these things. I don't think that this is, I guess I'm personally not a fan of making, like, if I had to kind of say like what I'm a fan of versus what I'm not a fan of, it's my personal opinion. I'm not a fan of looking publicly like you promote multiple things. I understand multiple streams of income and I make multiple streams of income, but I never like look like I do. I've just never liked that look. I would rather just like, hey, let me get this lead and then I could just sell them stuff for years without ever having to look like I sell multiple things. So I've always been a lot more of that, like I'd rather be the hero of the story than the villain. And the villains are the people that are always selling multiple things. They're just like throwing up. They look bad. They look like, we got people in our community right now. I see them every day. They're like pitching some new opportunity. Hey, this one's $5. This one's $10. This one's $20. This one's $7. Join this, join this, join this. It's just like every single day, some new opportunity, some new thing. And they might make a few $100 and then move on to a new opportunity. It's just like, nobody's benefiting from that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not benefiting by taking your same group of people. Like I've had this talk even with big marketers who just slam offers down their list every single day, pitch a new offer. It's like, look, you'll make like 10 times more money by not doing that. Just 10 times more, like more money than you'll know what to do with if you stop doing that. But they can never stop. It's addictive. So like, I would say if you have multiple things to promote, maybe figure out a way to maybe hide them a little bit more. That's what I would consider. That's just my personal feedback. Just hide it a little, just do a little bit better about hiding it. So these ideas of link trees, I don't mind them for a place to connect with all your social media accounts, but a place to promote like all these, and like, especially stuff like this, like B2B leads. Like, why would anybody need these B2B leads? Like, this is so off. There's certain things on here that don't even seem like they're related to this. Like B2B leads, bank promos, cashback. Those three things I would take off. Ingenious solutions, there's just no description here, so I would take that off. I would say probably out of everything here, you could almost lead with this. There's something free. And then what is free tools? Free AI art masterclass was sounding good. Okay, you got a website. I'm not mad at this. You want to send them to your website. What is this though? Yeah, but you got a website though. I'll give you props for that. I'm so lost. All right, never mind. I'm completely lost. I kind of don't know what's going on anymore. Okay. So maybe market funding, commercial funding. All right. So I'm trying to gain some focus here. All right. Okay. What I would do is I think this is the best advice I can give you. Okay. I would lead with something more specific and value driven. And then once people come into your pipeline, then you can introduce them to things based on their needs. So there might be somebody okay, for example, I have a friend right now that does hard money lending for real estate deals. So he goes, Chris, do you have anybody that needs money for real estate deals? And I go, I don't know, not at the moment. And he goes, if you ever do, you know, here's how you can refer me business, and here's how I'll take care of you. So it's like, oh, cool. I got this little source now where if somebody's interested if somebody needs hard money for a real estate deal, I can make money now. So do I take that and do I put that on my link tree now? Do I put that on my website? Do I start telling everybody, hey, I do hard money lending now. If anybody needs hard money, let me know. It's like, no, it doesn't make sense for me to do that, right? There's 100 different ways I have to make money. What makes more sense is for me to simply provide value, pre-qualified leads, and then match them with whatever I need. So if I want people that need hard money loans, then I should do something about real estate investing. I could do something simple. It says, hey, quick question. Are any of my friends here on Facebook real estate investors? The reason I ask is that I've been doing some business with some local real estate investors recently. And if you're an active real estate investor and you either buy or sell homes, or you want to be an active real estate investor, let me know. I'd love to be able to connect. Who's interested in real estate investing? Something like that, right? It's nonchalant. I'm not selling anything. I'm not pitching anything. I just find out. Now I'm having some conversations. And if I see somebody, I'll start messaging. And then the message will be like, hey, listen, if you ever need hard money, if you ever need a loan for anything, I got a guy. I got a connection. Just remember, when you're out doing your deals, at some point, if you need money, I got a guy. And that's going to work so much better, right? Because I'm not like pitching. I'm just collecting information. I've got these leads. Now I also know these people are interested in real estate investing. So I might even be able to market to them some real estate investing stuff. So I'm much more interested in like coming up with some value, looking like a hero, coming up with some value, and just cultivating an email list, and then marketing to them. It's just a much better approach. So that would be my advice for you, would be less things, and like even your website. Like here, I get the vibe that you're a digital marketing agency of some kind who wants to get on the phone with clients and give them some type of a consultation. So I think you'll be 10 times more successful if you just did that. Like, why all these other things? Like in my mind, I'm not understanding why. If you've got a system in place where you're willing to get on the phone and give some type of a free consultation related to something, then find your hook, find your unique selling proposition. What can you do in a 15-minute call with me, or a 30-minute call? What can you do that's going to provide value to me in the online world? And if you can justify that, then I'll get on the phone with you. And I'm sure people will get on the phone with you. If you can clearly explain what it is that you're able to provide. If you're like, hey, here's what it is that I can do for you. All we need is 15 minutes on a phone, and you will see for yourself. Like, confidence. And you just lead with that. Then when you get on the phone with somebody, you got the lead. Now you can just follow up with me and get me in all different types of stuff. I might want to buy some charging stations, or I might want to get a loan for real estate, or I might want to join a business opportunity, or I might want to get some cash back when I shop, or I might want to whatever these other things were, right? But those things are not making you look good. You know what I'm saying? That makes you look like you're distracted, but it also makes it look like you're distracted with petty little things. Like if I see somebody involved in some like little cash back opportunity, that just sounds like a little scam, right? So it's just kind of like I would just kind of hide. I would hide from some of this stuff. That's all. And I would make yourself look more powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like a 6-figure, 7-figure digital, like a business owner, like an agency owner who's got clients, who's got success, who's got results, who's providing value. Like when you build yourself up, I think that'll give you that brand glow up. That's my advice. Sorry if, what are you looking for? All right, let's go to Eamon. Jeez, why you guys always being so hard on me? Eamon Shalaby? Eamon, how close am I? Eamon Shalaby. Eamon, A-I Shalaby. Am I close? Empowering entrepreneurs, transforming businesses where vision meets innovation. Eamon, you said yes, but was it more Eamon, or is it Iman? Like A or I? A. Okay, Eamon. All right. I don't love the tagline, just because I just think like I'm a bigger look. Professional people do stuff like this, but I'm such a fan of just, if you're gonna do it, just like speak some sort of clarity to people. That's all. That's my advice. My advice is like, how can you make it more simple for people to understand what you do? Because this, I don't understand what you do still. Unlock your digital marketing potential. Again, don't understand what you do. So I'm not really interested in clicking this. Individual or business. Individual, business, hobbies. I mean, at least you got a website. Individual. We're going to click that path. Empowering your digital entrepreneurship journey. Become a virtupreneur, like a vertipreneur. So the first thing I would do with this brand is I would explain what it is. What is a vertipreneur? Vertipreneur? What is it? I like that you're overcoming problems, but I think that this is like very wordy. I would like to see it a little more simple. Become a vertipreneur. Flux? No. It's a sponsored ad, like right in the middle of the page. Don't know what's going on here. Why this doesn't have, this is a pitch right in the middle of like, you're just hooking me, you're just reeling me in to become a vertipreneur, and then all of a sudden there's just an ad, a randomly placed ad for some type of a website creation program. That's kind of weird. Join our community. Okay, so you got a group here, but the group is not active. Okay, no. You don't want to do your group like this. I guess, first of all, my first question would be, why do you need a group? I mean, I wouldn't do a group until you had a community. Like, you're going to want to build your community first because it's only seen by you. Your post's only being seen by you. So this group is not an effective tool. It's just an extra responsibility, which would explain why March 4th was your last post and it was seen by nobody. So I would, you guys, I wouldn't worry about things like the people don't need more groups, but I would say ultimately this, if you're going to go with this brand, people would really need to understand what this is. What is a vertipreneur? Like I'm saying it could work, but I don't know what it is. Become the best version of yourself. Is this you talking?
2 things authentic people do and
That was going to be you talking.
Are you tired of chasing endless online
Maybe.
courses and shiny tools only to find yourself stuck? Your solution is here, and it's called Vertipreneur Freedom Formula. Discover
Okay, so it's a vertipreneur. But see, I don't know what that means. I don't know what the word
Vertipreneur, a new approach to navigate through the world of online marketing and entrepreneurship. Forget about the frustrations. Here we provide a
It's kind of boring. Okay. Kind of bored by this. See, I don't agree with this. Know someone promoting a business on Facebook? Don't be annoyed by their post. No, if their post is annoying, we should not be liking it or sharing it. Like, I don't agree with this. If people are doing annoying posts, they should stop. I'm not gonna show love to an annoying post. Also, bro, there's more emojis than there are words there. Okay. Is this you? How do I listen? Oh, it's too complicated. Wait, so you actually have something of value, but I can't get it. All right. I don't know, man. It's just pitching. And it's always things I don't understand. Hivertency. It's like things I don't understand. You're creating all these brands, but I don't understand them. Like vertipreneur. I'm not saying not to. I just don't understand. Okay, you're starting to get somewhere here. I've been listening to a book by Grant Cardone called Sell or Be Sold. So I don't understand what this image is. A couple quick tips. You could, instead of doing these big long sentences, this looks like a book. When you guys are writing, learn to break these down into, smaller sentences or whatever. So like, try to figure out how to say things in less words, but like you can say a lot of words. Long form does work, but just try to be a little bit more, try not to be try to be more value based. So like the words are very important, but like spread it out a little bit like that. I mean, this is a decent idea, but it just feels like AI wrote it. So bottom line is I'm not seeing what the plan is here for engagement. I'm not seeing anything that like people are going to want to engage with. So I'm not seeing what the angle is to get engagement. So if you're not seeing the engagement you want, like don't post things like this. Don't post links off to places. I would say that's probably the biggest issue you're going to face is that you're not going to get engagement with this type of content. You got your friends turned off. I can't see how many friends you even have. So yeah, last thing I'll do, look at the story. This is good. Is this okay? This is good.
Yeah. Or a friend, for example. Yeah. Okay. You know that sometimes in life we go through difficult.
This is good, but it's a reel. This isn't a story. This is a reel. Right? This is not a story. The development lifestyle. So did you just copy this? But this is a.
We discovered that if you keep doing that,
that's a reel. We are going to be focused on.
Yo, listen up. I got a story to.
Today we are going to be.
Yo, listen up. I got a story to tell about the entrepreneur freedom, breaking out of that cell. Affiliate marketers struggling day to day, but with this formula turning failures to big pay. Step one, you gotta find a niche. What's your passion? What's your itch? Dig deep.
Okay. The best thing that I think I even heard here is this rap, but I would never use this background. Don't use this. This is not helping. This just made me want to click off of it. I would create a talking avatar for that rap and you might have something there. Anyways, done with that. We had one more. I kind of gotta go. It's been a long time. Let me see. Stefan always wants to be reviewed. He's like trying to be reviewed every week. Okay, branding's on point. Discover the art of selling anything to anyone. Okay, at least you're being somewhat descriptive with this. Still ambiguous, but it's descriptive. How to sell any product, at least you're matching what you're doing there. I mean, I would have taught it. I would have taught it. See, you're not going to get engagement. You're going to miss an opportunity for engagement because it's so vague. That's what I was saying. That's the one thing. It's kind of vague, but I would have just taught it. Like, here's the thing, Stefan, and anybody else listening. Like, let me just say something real quick. Like, why are you guys all afraid of giving away game? Like, what? Like, is there some industry fear that I don't know about where like giving away knowledge is bad? Like, do we have to go through an unlearning process? Did we learn somewhere along the line that like when you give away knowledge, it's bad? You should always be selling it, or you should always be gating it. You should always put it behind a gate. Don't give away knowledge. It's the worst thing you could do. Because I come from a completely different place where I just think we should just be giving away knowledge nonstop, right? So just keep that in mind, everybody. That wasn't even necessarily off what Stefan's saying. I'm just saying, like, we should always be thinking, like, how can we give away knowledge? Because you're gonna get people to know you, like you, and trust you, and they're gonna want to buy it. Like if I sat here right now and I taught everybody, okay, here's a 2-hour Zoom. I'm gonna advertise a video and I'm gonna get it 1 million views. Okay, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna record everything. I'm gonna show you everything that I do. Okay, I show you everything, right? 2 hours. I show you everything I do. Next week we look. Hey, video has 1 million views. Okay, you guys go do it. Now, if anybody's interested, I'm willing to teach it to you again in a little bit more detail for $100. Everybody would still buy it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I literally could just teach exactly how to do it and then say, I'll do it again. And I'll teach you more. We'll spend more time on it. So the thing is, like, you can always, like, that's the big thing I learned in life. You don't lose anybody by giving away game. But I think that we have to unlearn it, because I think people had a saying. Isn't there a saying that says, like, don't give away the farm? I don't know. We got to unlearn some stuff, y'all. Stefan, I should go back to you really quick. This will be like Stefan's 38th review. Let me see. All right, Stefan. I'm kind of getting tired. So you guys, I'm going to wrap up with this. And normally I can go for like 12 hours, but I'm kind of getting tired right now. All right, Stefan, you're in the review zone. We'll see if we can at least find something for you here. Stefan, where's your stories? No, just kidding. Stefan, get on your story game. All right. Okay. Okay. I like that you've chosen an angle on how to sell anything to anyone. Okay. I like that you've chosen this angle. I think you could be a little bit less vague, a little bit. If you want people to give you their information, I think you can be a little bit less vague about it. Like even right now, I can't even play. Like, I do feel like you're being a little bit, I don't want to give you my information. I don't care enough about this yet. Like, I guess what I'm saying is I think that you could do a better job of getting me to care than this. I gained 92 followers, created 112 posts, and received 1,316 reactions in the past 90 days. Thank you all for your continued support. I continue to do. I think this is a missed opportunity for some potential engagement here. So, for example, how do you have these stats, Stefan? Did you use a software tool, or did Facebook give it to you? Facebook told you. Where did they tell you this? Where did they tell you, Stefan? Because I feel like you're missing an opportunity here, right? Watch. I'm going to prove it to you. Okay. Would anybody right now be interested in being able to quickly look at their stats on Facebook? How many posts you made, how many followers you made, how much engagement you made? Would anybody here be interested? Put a 1 in the chat. For those of you that are remaining, I think I lost half the people by going 7 or 8 hours. Put a 1 in the chat if you'd be interested in being able to have stats on all your stuff, right? So I want to make a point right now. If I just tell you guys my stats, it's interesting, but it's not you, right? It's just me. I tell you my stats. Hey guys, I made 100 posts. I got 100 followers and 1,000 engagements. Thank you. Versus versus if I use that as an opportunity for value. And let's say that like I got like a little, let's say I got a little screenshot, right? That showed, you know, if I said something like, hey, did you guys know that Facebook has a free tool that shows you how many posts you make, exactly how many followers you get, how much engagement you made that you're getting, so that you know exactly what to be able to improve. If you guys are interested in learning more about this, I put together a free training on it. Or if you're interested in learning more about or keep reading, here's how to access it. So Facebook has recently released something called professional mode. Now, this is something you could do on your personal profile. You don't have, it's something simple. You can try it out. If you don't like it, you can always switch back. One of the benefits of professional mode is that it allows you to be able to see analytics on all your posts. The reason why this is valuable is because once you're able to see your analytics on your posts, you're able to see which ones work, which ones don't. For example, I was able to see why some posts were getting almost no engagement while other posts were getting a ton of engagement. This helps me to be able to optimize my profile. If it weren't for professional mode, I would never even know. So if you guys are interested in converting your profile to professional mode, follow these 3 steps. Whatever, something like that. I'm just saying at the end of the day, like you guys should be thinking like that. Does that make sense? You should be thinking more about, like, I'm not saying to pitch anybody, but I'm saying, how can you turn this into value? That's all I'm saying. How can you turn it into value? That's all. That's just the main thing I'm always looking for. How can I create some value with what I'm doing? Okay, free workshop, how to sell any product to anyone in any niche without really selling. In this free workshop, you'll discover a method.
Chris Record has shared through the Academy. Hey friends, welcome to the Bridge Marketing Workshop. I'm an AI clone of Steph, and I'm here to introduce you to the world of Atlas Academy.
Okay, so Steph, you like using the AI. I don't mind that you're using the AI, although I'm conflicted because you're a personal branded person. I'm in the middle of it all. Like, I personally would rather hear from you. I think I'd rather, you've got a good voice, you've got a good look. So that's the only thing I'd rather kind of hear from you. But if you're just using it as an example of doing AI, I kind of understand. I kind of have done the same thing a few times. What tools are you using for this? So are you editing are you editing this in CapCut? Like, what are all the tools? What are you using for all this? Just throw out all the tools you used to create this video, Stefan. Let's see. Hey Jen, CapCut, Mubert. So all the stuff we teach. I'm not going to watch the whole thing, but let's play a little bit more.
Me to showcase some of the amazing value 8-figure marketing legend Chris Record has shared through the Academy, including AI avatar creation.
It's just so soft, bro. I would say in this case, this is a great video, I think, to share as an example of what AI can do. But in terms of effectiveness, here's what I would change about it.
Hey friends, welcome to the Bridge Marketing Workshop. I'm an AI clone of Steph, and I'm here to introduce you to the world of Atlas Academy.
Yeah, so what I would do is I would get good. So here's the improvement for you for the session. What I would do is I would get good at explaining the value, explaining the results up front that people can get, right? And then leading into the solution being bridge marketing. So let me get off this. So in the front, it's kind of like there's 2 things that really draw people in, right? The avoidance of pain or the gain of pleasure. So the avoidance of pain is going to essentially be, what problems are people facing that they're looking for a solution for? How can you solve people's problems? Because people want to avoid pain. The gain of pleasure is going to be more or less like showcasing a result. Like this, like if I were to use somebody let's look for somebody's got a camera on. Let's use Stacy. Stacy's sitting there like 4 hours, Chris, 4 hours. Why is it going to be 4 hours? Sorry, Stacy. Yeah, you had a camera on. So we'll take Stacy for example. So if I wanted to excite, or if I wanted to hit pain point, I might say something like, my message might say something like, hey, listen, do you find yourself buying course after course and starting a new program, but not seeing the results you want? You're the type of person that attends all the Zooms. You're the type of person that goes through all the training, but for some reason you struggle when it comes to actually taking action and getting results. If that's you, listen, because here's a solution that can help you move from student of learning to actually doing, but to be able to do it effortless. This will solve your problem you have. So like if I took a problem like that, and then, you know, someone like Stacy, I'm just spitballing because she was the first person on camera. Stacy's kind of like, God, that feels like me. Like I have no problem getting the knowledge, but when it comes to just doing it and executing, I run into a roadblock. So if this said, hey, do you run into a roadblock when it comes to executing on the knowledge you learn? You have no problem finding the best courses. You have no problem attending the Zooms, attending the trainings, learning everything. But when it comes to executing, for some reason, you hit a roadblock. Well, here, let me introduce a solution to that. That would be trying to find a pain point, a problem, and trying to solve the problem. The gain of pleasure will be more like, hey, I want to tell you, I want to introduce you to someone. Her name is Karen. She is just a grandma who lives in Wichita, Kansas, who's been with us for 6 months. For the first 6 months, she was struggling, but after 6 months, she used our system, and now she's generating over $5,000 a month in recurring income. She's a grandmother. She's never done TikTok. She doesn't even like being on camera. In fact, she's not even on camera at all, but she used this technique right here, and she's making over $5,000 a month. So if you want to learn exactly how Karen, a grandma from Wichita, Kansas, simply use this tool and use this strategy to be able to go from struggling and hitting a wall and just buying courses, attending Zooms, but never making money, to finally having the breakthrough and making it all worth it, then watch this training. That would be an example of like, you're using a combination, right? And that one, you're using a combination of excitement. Here's a story of somebody else who's succeeding. Here's a gain of pleasure. Now you're getting the person to think, God, I wish it was me that was making extra $5,000 or $10,000 a month. I wish it was me that was having the breakthrough. But then also overcoming the problem, the pain, which is, yeah, that's like, I could relate to that. I was stuck too, and she had a breakthrough. I want to learn what she did. So when you incorporate this kind of messaging, now you're going to get people really hooked into wanting to learn the system. And so then you go a little bit further and say, so the big problem that Karen had was she didn't want to use her face. She didn't want to use her voice. And the other problem is that she said she didn't know anybody to talk to about her business. That's when I introduced her to a way to be able to do faceless marketing using a concept we call bridge marketing, creating bridges. And what this allows you to do is this allows you to target people you don't even know with a message where you don't even have to show your face or to use your voice at all, and be able to offer. You could take your same offer and you could offer it to fitness professionals. You could offer it to people who love bowling or golfing. You could offer it to real estate agents. You could offer it to network marketers. You could take the same offer to all these people. They never have to see your name. They never have to see your face. And you're personalizing this. And what it does is it's going to absolutely be your big breakthrough. You're no longer going to be stuck not being able to take action. Right? You're no longer going to have an excuse of not knowing what to say, because now you're simply going to bridge market. In today's video, we're going to show you exactly how to do that for the next 20 minutes. You're going to learn how, and you're going to thank me, because this is how you're going to finally start getting the results you deserve. So that kind of language, if you can, is like really going to hook you. And then the thing is that when you're using AI, the problem with using AI for hype is the AI voices sound a little bit fake when it's hype. AI works great for tutorials. AI works great for subtle, just reading something like a perfect example would be like an audiobook. If I'm going to read an audiobook, I don't mind AI. I just bought an AI audiobook because AI audiobooks are so cheap right now. If you want an audiobook read by AI, it's like $1. If you want to buy the one read by professional authors, it's like $25. So it's just $1 to have AI read it, right? So I would say if you're really trying to get somebody excited, you're trying to make money, then I would say come out and use some passion yourself, and get them excited. And just say, listen, you guys, you come straight out and be like, hey, listen, I have been in the online marketing space for 8 years now, and I have never seen a strategy this good. And in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly what the strategy is. You guys, I've never seen anything like this. Nobody's teaching it. Nobody's doing it. If you learn this, you're going to be one of the first in your entire industry to be able to do this. I'm going to show you how you can sell anything to anyone using this strategy. And I'm going to show you how you're never going to run out of leads again. You'll never have to worry about generating leads. You'll have an abundance of people that want to buy your product. I'm going to show you how to get your inbox full of people asking to buy your product. I'm going to show you how to be able to personalize your product so it's a perfect fit for everybody you talk to, and so much more in today's training. So with that being said, let's get started with our Bridge Marketing Academy. You use that. Now, you guys maybe don't see me do this because I don't have to sell you guys. I don't have to sell you. You guys are already here, but you got to kind of sell stuff to people to get them excited. Anyways, Stefan, hopefully that was helpful. Stacy, sorry for calling you out. I know Stacy was like, what? What's happening? What? Where are we at? Still on Zoom? Is it still Monday? All right. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it there, you guys. That was a lengthy Zoom. Appreciate you guys. All the nine of you that stayed on, however many are on till the end. Appreciate you guys. That was almost a 4-hour Zoom. I'm honestly exhausted. So I'm gonna go get some food and probably go get a gym workout in. Appreciate you guys. I got some editing to do. I'm a little bit behind on videos, so got to get those up. Take care, everybody.